Are we live?
The little red dots are on.
We don't give up.
There
Are we live?
we are.
Let me just double check. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Ooh, we are indeed live.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. We are live. Okay. Cue the music. Welcome, one and all, to another edition of Everyone Hates Us, the podcast dedicated to the art of winning in the beautiful sport of baseball. It's not quite baseball season yet, but we're getting there. I, of course, am Lee, joined by my gracious co-hosts, Dan Grievitz, Colin Murphy. Um, Fellas, we got a great show today. We're gonna go light on the baseball a little bit before we get heavy in the baseball. So, first half of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the NCAA men's tournament that's coming up, including all the conference championships and conference tournaments that are kind of happening over the next couple of weeks. And then we've got a little update on the NBA. You might have heard us dunking on the NBA's watchability in the first few weeks. And then I went to Korea and then something changed, and here I am watching the Lakers every night. I don't really know what happened. There was a big old change.
Unsolvable mysteries.
All of a sudden, I'm like, hey, so Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, can't talk to you guys.
Well, Tuesdays, obviously.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday from 5 o'clock to 10 p.m. I am not available. Sorry, guys. Anyway, before we get to that, a little bit of baseball news. Take it away, Poppy.
The Yankees lose.
The Yankees did lose. They lost two of their best players. Giancarlo Stanton and Luis Gil will be starting the season off on the IL. It's looking a little dark for the reigning World Series runners-up. It's a little early for this, but Dan, would you rather have injuries sooner or later? Like, would you rather have them now, or would you rather? I mean, provided you can't have them never because it's baseball, and
Yeah, I mean, I think with a team like the Yankees, now is probably better. Like you sort of have the depth to weather the storm, and then have the players hopefully come back in time for the playoffs. That's kind of what they did with Giancarlo last year, having him healthy at the right time, and it got them to the World Series. He was one of the most, if not the most important bat that they had during the playoffs. So yeah, given the makeup of that roster, which is a lot of older guys, having some guys take some time off in the beginning of the season, it might be beneficial for them.
I actually think getting guys hurt early it's like kind of the best time to do it. It saves you from like the most awkward decisions you have to make on your roster, cutting down like that last position player or the last pitcher. And now, you just get to basically get like a couple extra spring training-ish like type games in real action against MLB opponents to kind of test those guys out before you have to make the final cut. So more information is always good information. Obviously, everyone would prefer their top guys to always be healthy, but this is the most natural time, I think, for someone, if someone's going to get hurt, where it impacts your team the least. And I think it provides the GM and the coaching staff with more time to evaluate those fringe players. And so, yeah, I'm fully with Dan. I don't think this is going to be a big deal for them. The Yankees are going to be in the playoffs.
That's a spicy take from somebody who had two pitchers that started late last year, and because of the late start, probably ended up pooping the bed.
Well, they didn't start on the IL.
They just didn't show up at all.
I mean, it'll been help. Like, presumably as long as Luis Gil doesn't come back 40 pounds overweight, things won't be as much of an issue. So, we'll see. I'm a little concerned about, all the taco truck rentals Corbin Burns has been paying for in spring training. Weight's a little bit of a sensitive issue. I don't want to go full Nico Harrison here, but, it was a little traumatizing last year.
We pump the brakes. First of all, I want to put out there that true Mexican style tacos are some of the healthiest foods you can eat. Okay. I really need to put that out there. Okay. It's meat. It's a cornmeal tortilla. it's gluten-free for one. And second, what toppings do you have on there? Usually just onion, cilantro, and salsa. Those are banging. If you're trying to be healthy, tacos are like real Mexican style street tacos are basically some of the healthiest foods you can eat.
That's why I
Especially if you're
had
going chicken.
over 100 last time I was in Mexico City.
Okay, that's disgusting, and that's not what I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure you would be flagged for all sorts of PEDs by the IOC. You ate that many Mexico City street tacos.
Speaking of Mexico City, we're headed out there, Murph. We're going out there this week for Ping's bachelor party.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hopefully we don't get food poisoning. I'm going to try to eat as many testosterone boosting tacos as I can. But
I have a whole taco map on Google Maps if y'all want to.
Oh, please send that our way. We need that actually. Yeah, I'm responsible for the food, which means I made one reservation, and then there's a lot of like, figure it out, fellas. Like, there's a lot of that. It's just the schedule's like grayed out. Like, yeah, freeform your breakfast. Like, go get a concha and like some coffee or some shit. Like, figure it out.
I still remember Dwayne Brown, the Texans lineman, who just went and like brought out back his literal receipts from Mexico City, telling the NFL that it was literally the street tacos that caused him to pop positive. And to everyone's shock, Goodell actually reversed the suspension.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, because they did play in Mexico, like as a part of the NFL calendar, and I guess they just felt like they didn't do enough warning of the players that you shouldn't, like what food you should try to avoid. And so the players just ended up, they ate some of the street tacos and popped. But you hear it in soccer all the time with the Mexican soccer players and teams that go to Mexico. Like
that must have been what Fernando Tatis ate, when he got popped, right? Like,
well, no, he came out and said it was ringworms, not ringworm medicine, not
that's
tacos.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever go through, if you ever test positive, that's built-in great excuse. Kind of like the Seattle Seahawks, had that Adderall addiction. Just say you ate some street tacos in Mexico City. No one's going to blame you.
No one in the entire city of Seattle is going to begrudge them that. It's like, yeah, I could see that. Like if you work in Seattle, SF, LA, and it's like, hey, our football team has an Adderall addiction. It's like, yeah, I could see that.
Well, the joke is the NFL like allows you to take Adderall. You just have to get it cleared through your team doctor. So it's like, it's very easy to get. You don't even need to qualify for it. They can just pretty much write out the prescription, which means that they're claiming that they didn't do that and we're just taking it anyway. They're lying. Like,
no, Colin, why would they ever take a performance enhancing drug? That's insane. Like, it's the NFL. I remember the first time we actually talked about this, we got in a big old argument because I was like, they're not taking PEDs. And then, over time I was like, oh God, they're definitely taking PEDs. Like, they're just not talking about it. I think the thing that really gave it away for me was that the NFLPA was able to negotiate a clause where you're not allowed to disclose what it is that they got popped for. Like that's at the player's discretion whether or not they want to disclose that. And so the NFL teams and doctors cannot disclose that because that's also like a medical, like that's none of your damn business, right? So,
well, the IOC and everyone else tells you what you pop for.
Whatever. The NFL doesn't want to do American. We're American.
The NFL doesn't do it because they
doctor-patient confidentiality. Okay.
It's in both people's interest for everyone to claim Adderall. The NFL doesn't look bad that everyone's roided up and they can push it on high schoolers or whatever that, oh no, it's just an Adderall addiction and no parent cares. And
nobody in high school is taking Adderall. Who in high school is taking Adderall? That's what kind of,
are you kidding?
If you're taking Adderall in high school,
the entire band, like in my high school, was taking Adderall, especially the drummers.
What the hell do you need Adderall for?
They were on Adderall and Ritalin.
Oh my God. I get prescribed. I understand prescribed, but if you're like just popping addies in high school, I'm just like, damn, is it really competitive like that in high school? Damn.
No, not for academics in my school, obviously. We had like a 40% graduation rate. Like,
okay. Recreational, I understand. But like for like, performance enhancing, like Dan, when I was at SC, I'd be like, you a damn English major at USC, man. What you taking Adderall for, bro? Like just what? Like, just take your B- and move on, dog. Like, come on. Like, you really taking Adderall so you can get an A in a class where you're practically guaranteed a B-? Like, for shame. Sorry. Huge tangent about Adderall. That notwithstanding, let's get back into it. Speaking of pharmaceuticals and injuries and hard times have befallen the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving appears to have suffered a torn ACL will be out for the season. Capture the flag.
The backup point guard too, Hardy, I think, turned his ankle too, so he's gonna be out for a couple weeks.
Good God.
So
Hardy's actually good. That's actually like Hardy's a fun player to watch if you
Quentin Grimes, who they traded for Caleb Martin, is balling out in Philadelphia. Caleb Martin still hasn't played for them. AD's probably out for the season now, just because why bother coming back?
Capture the flag.
Lively's still gone. Gafford's still gone. It's basically Clay playing 1-on-5 right now, which is,
and they're at the apron and they have an open player spot and they have two-way guys who have like 4 games left before they've used up that. So they literally might only have 8 active players in a couple days.
Moses Brown has been playing well for them in the absence of the other big guys, and they won't be able to keep him.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
It's just rough from top to bottom.
And then, we haven't even talked about the best part of all this, which is that the Dallas Mavericks expect to increase their season ticket pricing by 8%. Man.
Whew. In defense of that was probably the decision made months ago when Luka was still on the team. But the timing is just
it's
when they were a contender built around an exciting young star coming off a finals run.
Yeah.
How can you mess that up?
There's no way. Maybe it would take effort to mess that up.
To turn a 10-year window into a 10-year rebuild tank job in 1 month. This is one of the most impressive deconstructions that the league has ever seen.
It's prodigious, really. It's so many. I mean, really the one move, but then the PR of continuing to double down.
PR.
Yeah.
The leaking all the crap all the time. It's just dude, stop. Do you really think that leaking to the Athletic that, hey, we thought he was fat and lazy?
No. No, we swear. We really thought he was fat.
I don't think you heard me the first time. I'm going to repeat myself one more time. Luka was drinking lemonade. Lemonade!
Sweet tea. Yeah.
Does he know what fan base he's in? He's in Texas. Lemonade and sweet tea?
What's that? What? In Dallas.
You're an hour from the Dr. Pepper Museum, which I've been to. Pretty great. But yeah, I mean, come on.
Okay, quick question, boys. Would you rather be, this is kind of one of those, would you rather cut off your nuts or cut off your penis? Would you rather be a Dallas Cowboys fan or a Dallas Mavericks fan?
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys now.
That's spicy.
A month ago, it would have easily been the Mavericks, but now it's just
that bad.
That bad, yeah.
I believe Jerry Jones tries to win, and he wants to win, and he's kind of amusing.
But the way he does it doesn't win.
Yeah, he gets in his own way constantly. But, I mean, the Mavs are sabotaging, and what is there even to look forward to? Kyrie's going to probably not be back until the second half of next year anyway. AD could opt out. Klay Thompson could be on their way out. This team is getting ripped apart to shreds. This 3-year window that Nico promised is going to be shut before it ever even opened. And they're the 10 seed right now. And yeah, it's just really rough. There are rumors that they're looking to trade for even more for
KD,
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Nico must be the most BMI obsessed person I've ever heard of. If this is the case. What is going on here?
I will say the team BMI is probably going to be under 20 if they get the Slim Reaper. You know what's interesting is, guys, if you're a Cowboys fan, Dak Prescott's cap hit next year is $90 million.
That'll get
$90 million.
Yeah. The cap hits are always ridiculous. They'll add void years and restructure.
They have to. But the thing is, that's your QB1. And he wasn't looking like a QB1 before he went out. So,
he's 2 years away from being the MVP runner-up.
Yeah, when he's on, he's solid. And
next year he'll be 3 years away. Colin.
I would not want to be
4 years.
I would not want to be a Cowboys fan, but this question is very clear cut. It's Cowboys versus the Mavericks, and the Mavericks are a fallout zone right now. It's
yeah. I mean, Rangers, Stars, Cowboys, Mavs. That's the order. No, sorry, FC Dallas, Mavs. That's the order.
Don't forget about the Dallas Wings. Rebuilding this.
Yeah. I mean, you could also throw in SMU, basketball and football, TCU, basketball and football, then the Mavs. Yeah, they're actually going lower the more I think about this. But I don't know if yeah.
I guess for every tank job, there must be an equal and opposite not tank job. So I wanted to kind of talk about the Lakers a little bit, and it's because we woke up the 2 seed, and I need to make an apology. I was dunking on NBA watchability for so long. I was like, this thing is unwatchable. This is crap. Who's gonna watch this crap? I'm ready to admit that was fully a Homer sentiment. It was like, my team is so mid. It's so uninteresting. Do I really like the most interesting that happens in a Laker game? And I'm not kidding. This happened like when I went to a live game last year. Was like, oh, AD's hurt. Is he coming back in? Like that was literally the most interesting part of watching a Laker game. And I was like, oh, AD got poked in the eye by Steph. Is he coming back? You know,
integral
like
part of the AD experience.
That was the AD experience. That's literally. Are you kidding me? Like my wife asked for tickets from her boss for this. Like, good God! Like I feel bad she even had to ask. Now, you know, on the bright side, nobody wanted the tickets, so like, you know, they're free. But like, whew. So to go from that to, hey, hon, can you put the kid down because it's a little tight right now. You know, like I need to watch this. That is, it's amazing how much the script writers of the NBA succeeded in what they sought out to do, which was to basically recreate interest in the NBA. I want to point out that tickets to Madison Square Garden for the Lakers matchup are like get-in prices are like $420. For the Boston Garden matchup, for the TD Garden matchup this Saturday, $580 get-in prices. Last I checked.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. It's the freaking regular season. Like what? $580. There are playoff games that didn't cost that much last year. Like what? So like this is real, guys. Like the NBA is back in a big way. I am absolutely sure that the NBA had something to do with this trade. Like there's no way you would let this happen, but for the fact that it was obviously going to basically help everybody. It was one of those rising tide lifts all boats type of deals where it's like, hey, interest in the Lakers equals more ratings equals, hey, more money. Like, that's good. We should do that. I literally think that has to be what happened. Like, I don't know. Dan, am I crazy here? Do you think I'm crazy? Like, what's...
I'm still a believer in Nico Harrison's just hubris and like deciding to take control of the team. And I still don't believe the conspiracy rumors, but I do fully believe that Luka being on the Lakers and having like an exciting young player on a marquee team like this is absolutely great for the league. And like we were saying, arguing before the World Series started, like having the top 2 marquee franchise in the World Series was good for the league, and this is similar to that. Like people want to watch a player like Luka throwing passes behind his head for 3-pointers, like easily, over most teams. Like that is what the NBA is sort of built on. Like ever since the Magic Bird rivalry in the 80s, like that's sort of been the that you build around stars, and this is like one of these stars on the the golden team. It's sort of what the NBA dreams about. But I don't know. I hesitate with that kind of. I think I think the NBA like builds more subtly than this. Like this is so dumb that it sort of fell into their lap, I think.
But that's the trick, Dan. That's how they get you.
You know the trade is bad when all these conspiracy theories pop up because people are trying to wrap their heads around how anyone could justify that this was like that this makes sense. And I think it just again speaks to how horrible the trade was, is that people are still reeling and trying to like come up with things. You know, people still talk about them trying to tank the team to go back to Vegas or something.
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to invent reasons to try and wrap their heads around why you would get rid of a player like Luka. And obviously this is going to be like big for the Lakers. I mean, if you went in the back to like the last 25 years, talk about how guys started their careers and stuff, Like LeBron is, a top 3 player all time by any way that you kind of cut it, right? Luka has had an equal to maybe better start to his career than LeBron did. They both won Offensive Rookie of the Year. They both got 5 first-team All-NBAs in their first 6 years. Luka actually won a finals game. Neither of them had an MVP, but they received votes. Luka's first 6 years is literally on track with LeBron's. I think a lot of people forget that just because how great Jokic and everyone else has been, but Luka is literally on a LeBron-like path to the start of his career. Now
and he
both
came in
teams.
super young to the league too, like LeBron. Like not as young because you can't do that anymore, but he still was very young when he came in. And so
that's a great point because he's not a refined like 3-year college player. He came over as a teenager. It's absolutely crazy. I think I do think that sometimes in the trade, even people are underrating Luka a little bit, just because I don't think people fully recognize how insane of a start he's had to his career. And when you like stack it up to LeBron through 26, and then you really kind of start to see like just how absurd of a player he's been for the first several years of his career.
He's our little chunky white LeBron understudy. I'm so grateful
Come on.
for him.
if we're doing a player comp for Luka, he's the right-handed white James Harden.
He's like a bite-sized Jokic.
No, now you're just refusing to do cross race comparisons, and you're putting all the Yugoslavian countries all back together again.
Dude, did you see that? Sorry, it's kind of off topic, but you'll see. The Scattaboo rant from I forgot who it was, but they were like, somebody went on Twitter. I have to look this up. Sorry, but basically,
I love myself some Scattaboo. That dude ran his mouth heading into that playoff game and then balled his ass off. Like that was impressive.
That was easily the most interesting of the first round games just because of him. He went a little wild.
Kyle Brandt. Okay, NFL analyst Kyle Brandt basically slams lazy comparisons for Scattaboo. Who do you think he was compared to, guys? And
Peyton
we're talking
Hillis.
about Arizona State running back Cameron Scattaboo. Who do you think he was compared to?
Peyton Hillis.
Nailed it. That's one of them.
You just know exactly where people were going with that one.
Who's the other one? Dan, can you guess the other one?
McCaffrey? I don't know.
Oh, God. No.
Oh, that'd be rough. I mean,
McCaffrey's-
I think Toby
McCaffrey's
Gerhart
light-skinned.
might make more sense.
I'm like,
Kobe Gerhart was the other one.
Okay.
Well, McCaffrey isn't the same player. Gerhart reminds me a lot more of if we're forcing him into a white running backs that have been drafted in the last 15 years.
So Brandt, of course, goes in and says he compares him to Frank Gore. And I was like, what? Like, okay. Yeah, he's going to have like a 15-year NFL career, this Scattaboo fella.
Dude, that dude's brain isn't going to last 15 years. The way he was playing.
Was he like throwing up on the sideline or something? He was going crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
Dude. Yeah, Scattaboo. Oh, man. But anyway, cross-race comparison. Apparently, Cameron Scattaboo is Frank Gore. I'm sorry. Or the other one was Mark Ingram. And I was like, there is no way on God's green earth that kid is Mark Ingram. Are you serious?
If you were going to give me a third one I had to do, I would have said the white fullback from Friday Night Lights.
I think and then Scattaboo actually had like a close to a 40-inch vertical. He had like I think 38 and a half or 39 and a half. And so they're like, Bijan Robinson had a shorter vertical than he did. And I was like, did you just try to compare Cameron Scattaboo to Bijan Robinson? Like, what are you doing? Like, I get like, okay, don't do the fucking lazy comparison of like white running back to white running back. But Bijan Robinson is like off the screen, guys. It's not a comp, okay? Like, oh God. Anyway, that's my Cameron Scattaboo little cross-race comparison.
Peyton Hillis. You just knew they were going to do that.
That was nailed it in one.
I know. Just talk about first pitch home run. Speaking of, so basically, interesting part we're running into here, where college basketball is at the forefront. So we talked about college football, but college basketball, it's literally March, and their tournament is called March Madness. We're coming up on it, Murph. It's the one time everybody gambles. I mean,
the one time,
actually, every day is when everybody's gambling. We live in America now. But it's It's the one bonanza that everybody loves to pretend to care about college basketball. Murph, you actually care about college basketball. So I wanted to tap into your expertise and I want you to talk about, some bid thieves. We're going to come in here and kind of swoop in and be like, "Ooh, that's a spicy team."
Yeah, so as everyone knows, the next 2 weeks are conference tournaments, but the first week, this one is primarily the smaller tournaments. We're talking the Atlantic Sun, Horizon, Ohio Valley. A lot of these are teams that the general public isn't totally familiar with, but a lot of these like winners, they're going to be in the 13, 12 spot. Some are going to be the play in 16s, but these are some that are going to be kind of those lower seeds that you might see and pick as an upset heading in. But the big school teams that start up next week, they're going to be watching two of these tournaments specifically because there's a great chance for there to be a bid thief in them. And the first one we have to talk about is everyone's favorite mid-major conference. They call their little tournament Arch Madness because it takes place in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley. And Drake has pulled off an insane year, undefeated in the non-con, 27-3 overall record. This is a team that absolutely is going to get in that large bid if they fall short. So everyone wants Drake to pull it out. The big one out there, though, is Bradley. Bradley might be a team some of you guys remember. They upset that Bill Self Kansas team about 10, 15 years ago. I think it was a 13 over a 4. So Bradley split with them in the regular season. They're the 2 seed, probably the biggest contender to knock off this Drake team. But yeah, Arch Madness, always a lot of fun. Missouri Valley's always been a frisky conference. VCU, Wichita State all came out of there when they made their big runs in the NCAA tournament. This is a conference that is just known for making runs. It's Indiana State, if you want to go further back, even to the Larry Bird era. But it's a well-known, well-respected mid-major conference, and Drake has absolutely just ran through it this year.
No diddy. So that's the most wins that Drake's seen all year, Con. That's really
yeah. I think there's like the rules of Sith, right? Remember, only one at a time. So the other Drake had to fall for this Drake.
That's Highlander rules. Actually, this is.
Oh, you're right. Sith is the rule of two.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mixed up my nerd reference there.
I
thought about it ahead of time too. I don't know how I botched that.
Oh God. Who watches this show?
So yeah, that's the other one. The other conference is one that I believe everyone's typically more familiar with. It's the West Coast Conference. A little bit of surprise though this year because it's not Gonzaga that's on top of it. It's actually St. Mary's, and St. Mary's is nationally ranked. But also the West Coast Conference is very deep this year because of the Pac-12 dissolution. They actually added Oregon State and Washington State, which really buffed up the conference quite a bit. Also, University of San Francisco, only really famous basketball-wise for being where Bill Russell went and played college ball. They actually have a fringe at-large spot here. They're on the bubble by every single prognosticator, Lenardi, Jerry Palm, Bracket Matrix, pretty much all of them kind of have University of San Francisco on there. So we could be looking at a 3-bid West Coast Conference this year if Gonzaga and St. Mary's get eliminated. But the West Coast Conference is one of those conferences that staggers it. They try to make sure that their favorites end up in the final. So the 1 and 2 seeds automatic buys the semis. The 3 and 4s are in the quarterfinals. The 5 and 6 are in the round before that. 7 and 8, they literally do 2-2-2 all the way through the whole tournament. So it's an interesting structure. One team to watch out though, if that could make it outside those 3 that Gonzaga and St. Mary's first off are in. University of San Francisco, if they make the championship game, they could sneak in because they'll have a pretty nice win on the table because they would have beaten either Gonzaga or St. Mary's to get there. But Oregon State, this is a team that the metrics absolutely love. Ken Palm loves. This is a team that loves to lose close basketball games against good teams. So this is a team that no one in the West Coast Conference really wants to run into, especially in the later spot because of how poorly they've done in the actual wins losses. So this is not going to be a Q1 win for teams. They're strictly going to be a resume ruiner, but this is a team that's going to be very tough to put away. Similar, the other one out there that has the biggest, probably delta between their Ken Palm rating and their actual wins and losses is Rice in the American, who also just has a real big fetish for losing, 2-score games to literally everybody. They took Memphis all the way through, who's ranked in the top 20, but they also then lost the second worst team in the conference by 2. So this team just loves to lose close games. Oregon State is the West Coast Conference version of that. but they beat Gonzaga already this year. This team has shown that they can beat top talent. They played Oregon all the way to the wire. They led for 38 minutes, I think, of that game, or they led heading in the final couple minutes in Eugene. So this is a team that's played nationally ranked teams. They played them very tough. They just can't seem to actually close the deal. But this is a team that you wouldn't be totally surprised to see them make a run.
Thank you for the insight, Colin. I'll be sure to check off at least some of these weird conferences. You know what these are? It's like the upsets, the 12-5s, the 13-4s, where you just kind of like middle. Who the hell is Middle Tennessee? And then you're like, yeah, I like blue. And then you start going just like, all right. And then they end up winning and just like, oh damn. So no, well, hopefully we put some statistics and science behind some of these choices. You know?
Oh, one last one I'd like to point out is the former Colonial Athletic Conference got renamed to the Coastal Athletic Conference for reasons.
There was a Colonial Athletic Conference.
They were
thought that was a good idea.
They were that for a long time. They only switched it like 3-4 years ago. I think it was after the George Floyd thing. It was only like a year or two after that they ended up switching it. So this post 2020 switch. But William and Mary has a bye into the quarterfinals. They have the longest NCAA tournament drought outside of Army.
Wow.
They have a great chance to make the tournament. Never made it. So that's also something to keep an eye out. And that's normally a fun tournament. Like there's been some spicy teams that come out of there. George Mason to the Final Four is probably the most famous team that people have heard of coming out of there. But it's a spicy conference as well.
This is good stuff. I mean, who knows? One of these names that we heard today might end up going to the Final Four.
I do like hearing USF threatening to make it, and they always have the Bill Russell cred, which it would be cool to see him in there.
I would talk about my favorite college basketball player if he didn't go to the school up the street here. But so what's
USF? I mean, they beat Boise State and Boise. Like they have some good wins this year. They beat St. Mary's, one of the only teams to beat them in the West Coast Conference.
Colin, is Boise State's court colored blue?
No, actually, it's not.
That's lame.
If you're talking about
Sad.
probably the most obnoxious court that exists, it's easily Oregon. If you've seen that one,
Is it the one with all the woods around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I know that one. Oh,
It's the trees commemorating their national title winning team back in like I think the 40s or 50s. Matthew Knight Arena. Phil Knight named it after his kid, I believe, or nephew. I believe it was his kid. Yeah, Matthew Knight Arena. That is probably the most obnoxious college basketball court.
that court has led to me smacking my TV at least more than once. As in, like, is something wrong with the screen? I'm just like smacking. Like, what's wrong with the picture?
Players say it's not bad in person. They actually kind of like the court, but apparently on TV it just does not come out that way.
It is horrendous, and the way the light comes off of it, it's just like, what's wrong with my TV?
In fairness, it's horrendous for college compared to some of the NBA courts that we're getting these days. It is barely.
Of course,
Yeah, it's not even.
we're talking.
Doesn't
to
even
the
register.
NBA court fashion police and Dan. I mean, we could talk about this all day. When we get back, we're going to actually talk about something a little bit dark. It's time for the people of the city of Miami versus the Miami Marlins. We're going to do a quick preview on whether or not the good folks of the city of Miami should be tuning into Marlins games this year. I partially, part of me doesn't want to tune into this segment because it's so sad, but I think Dan's going to come up with a great way to try to defend them. So when we get back, we'll get right to it. Don't go anywhere. See you in a couple seconds. All right. Good stuff.
Yeah, I can talk about college basketball pretty much all day.
For sure.
I watch a ton of it.
You're awesome with it. You're awesome
Yeah.
with it, dude.
I have the four YouTube TV split screen going during the weekdays.
And yet, no Juju Watkins shout out. Wow.
I know. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Once again, beating UCLA. She's out there killing it.
According to Colin, this is not a big deal. He sees it as
No, well, said he was surprised that they were this good this year, and I was like, "What? Moving from preseason number 3 to
I
current
didn't
number
know
2?"
we were preseason number 3. I was like, I'm sure we're
Juju
like
Watkins, man.
I was like, I didn't know we had female Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on our team. Like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, I guess my point was more is just like you guys were supposed to be a Final Four team, and now you're supposed to like you're the number 2 team in the country. It's your team is doing exactly kind of what you were expected to do. I mean, beating UCLA obviously twice as nice though. Like obviously, beating your rival.
It's already a successful season just because of that.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it.
It was more using the word surprise like that. That's what
surprised.
I guess.
I was surprised.
I guess my point was more, which I think is correct. You actually weren't paying attention to them earlier because they were preseason number 3.
Which is like, I mean, come on, dude. But then like I was like, who is Juju? Oh my god! Like, what are these?
She's
stats?
in so many commercials.
Yeah, she's in.
I've seen that commercial 1,000 times.
You know what? I've only seen the Angel Reese commercial for McDonald's. That made my heart smile because Angel Reese is struggling to pay her bills. So the thought that she got a endorsement with McDonald's, that just fills me with joy. I'm like, Angel, I'm glad you can pay your bills finally. Hope they cut the lights back on.
I mean, that's good because we'd hate to see her go to Russia to try and make ends meet.
Yeah, because you can't smoke weed there. You end up releasing a massive arms dealer back into the public. Like that's, okay. Sad stuff. Let's get back to real stuff. Thanks for joining us. We're back, and it's time to do what's quickly becoming my favorite segment: the city of Miami versus the Miami Marlins. In this segment, Colin acts as the prosecution, Dan acts as the defense, and what we're going to do is argue whether or not the good folks of the city of Miami should be tuning into these Marlins games. And I know, you don't already, okay? But maybe we can convince you to, or maybe we strongly convince you to stay away. I have nothing to say. I will be the judge. I will preside over the proceedings. But before we do that, I wanted to go over some quick Miami facts. Miami is the second most populous city in Florida after Jacksonville. Miami has the third largest skyline in the U.S. with over 300 high-rises, 70 of which exceed 491 feet because they don't get a ton of earthquakes down there. And their population, 442,241. I think the city's like official food is probably the Cuban sandwich, the Cubano. It's a pressed sandwich with ham, mustard, roasted pork, pickles, Swiss cheese, I believe, and sometimes they have like a little garlic mojo thing on there. But delicious sandwich. Hard to argue with Miami. It is also the city where NBA players love to visit, and definitely don't do anything else when they're in Miami. They just focus on ball. But Miami, obviously, if you haven't heard of Miami, you're probably living under a rock. It is home to some of the best stuff in the world. So let's go ahead and open with the prosecution. Murph, I want you to go ahead and make your case. Dan, you can make your defense. If either of you feel a closing statement is necessary or you want to have a rebuttal, you may do so. All regular rules of evidence apply. You can object for whatever reason. I will sustain/overrule depending on the circumstances. Okay, Murph, take it away.
Yeah, so last time I kind of beat around the bush a little bit. I'm just going to be very direct here. The Marlins are going to suck, and that's the number one reason not to watch them. Fangraphs has them as with the projected third worst record in baseball with 90 losses, and Vegas, for the record, thinks that's optimistic. They put the over-under at 62.5. They think they're losing 100 games this year. So that's the bottom line, what you're literally getting yourself into watching right now. Trash baseball. Meanwhile, the flip side of it, your division rivals, Mets, Braves, Phillies, are all supposed to be really good. There is not a lot for you to really root for here. Okay. You're going to be watching your team. You're going to be watching them lose to your rivals. That is what you have in store for you for the 2025 Marlins. And amazingly, however, everyone expects the ownership to be so cheap. Somehow your manager isn't even top 5 odds to get fired, which normally gives you a fun little boost with the interim. No, not happening for you guys. You're going to be stuck with that the whole season. So that's, I guess, where I would kind of just start off this whole thing. The flip side of that also is we kind of talked about this last time with the Brewers, where you can focus on the Bucks and then you just got to get all the way to Packers season. With the Marlins, I don't necessarily have that. Yeah, Jimmy Butler forced his way out, but the Heat are right exactly where they want to be. They're in the playing games. This is where Heat culture thrives. You guys can talk yourself into that farce again now that Butler's gone. Also, the Florida Panthers, they're the defending Stanley Cup champs. This is going to take you well into June before there's any reason to even care about this team. By that point, they're going to be double digits out of the division. So at that point do you even really want to watch this team that's already losing? Or, obviously football is going to start up in the fall. Tua, the temperature is going to be over 60 degrees. The Dolphins should look pretty great there. You can talk yourself into he's totally changed before he gets his 8th concussion. So yeah, I don't really necessarily think you even have that to look forward
Objection, Colin. We cannot make concussion jokes. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. Especially not to Tua. Good God, man. Have some taste.
Fine. You can pretend that Tua's got it back until the temperature falls below 60 degrees and he turns into a pumpkin again. Is that better?
Much better, Colin. Thank you.
So yeah, Dan, I guess first off, any reason to watch this team? You're going to watch a lot of losses. You're going to have much better sports to watch, at least heading all the way through June. Why watch this team?
Look, what sort of sports story is the most compelling? At least in fiction, you're looking at an underdog story. And what's a bigger underdog than a team that has to consistently succeed in spite of its ownership, in spite of rock bottom attendance, and just it is basically a year by year recreation of the movie Major League. And yet the Miami Marlins, despite that starting point, are, well, I have them here. They are let's see, they have 2 championships, as we know. They haven't won one in 21 years, which is still more recent than more than half the league, more recent than 17 out of they are the 13th most recent team to win a championship. And they've done that in 32 years, which places them 5th in Major League history in terms of seasons per championship. They win one once every 16 years. So if you look at their history, especially if you look at their prospect rankings and their sort of beginning, their prospect history is it is the most up and down curve that you see. I looked at, if you pull up the Baseball America did a recap article recently of all their farm system rankings in the 21st century, and the Marlins continuously bounce back despite their owners, again, selling off all their players after every World Series. They just bounce back with interesting players, and this year will be no exception. They have Alcantara coming back, and he will be quite good. But they have Xavier Edwards, who played quite well in a small sample size last year. In 70 games, he accumulated more cycles than Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams, Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb, and Pete Rose combined in their careers. They have Mr. Marlin's son, Griffin Conine, waiting in the wings. He played pretty well in a small sample size again last year, and he'll be going it. He accumulated a full 0.7 B WAR last year. But if you account for the cherishing of Marlins history with the him being the son of Jeff Conine, Mr. Marlin himself, once he gets into the lineup, that'll help boost them as well. But beyond all of that, what is the worst thing about being in Miami in the summer when baseball season is playing? Being outside. I would not want to be outside in the humidity in Miami during the summer. And where can you get cheap air conditioning for 3 hours? Marlins Park. You can go and sit and hide from the sun, hide from the humidity, and get some cred as a sports fan, following a team that full of players that will be stars sooner or later, not necessarily with this team, but you can say that you saw them when they were first starting out. That's a good starting point.
So I actually would like to jump off on some of this, because
yes, please.
I enjoyed where you went with this, especially let's talk about the prospects, because the offseason, that's pretty much what happened. The Marlins signed literally nobody. And except for one person, they signed a Rockies pitcher, Cal Quantrill.
They got everyone they needed in the trade deadline last trade deadline.
You trade away 2 of the starting guys. The farm isn't even inside the top 20 for the 4th straight year. So even the prospects you're talking about, those guys, even if they come up, they're not heralded at all.
It's because they've
again,
got the
I
young
already
guys
said,
in the majors already. Connor Norby's already up.
by the time Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers are over, like there's nothing to be excited while watching get called up here in June. Also, I'm glad that you mentioned what's it called. Don't want to be outside in the summer. Very hot. Agreed. You know what would be a great thing to watch sports-wise in Miami? How about the greatest soccer player of all time and the defending MLS Supporting Shield champs, Leonardo Messi in Inter Miami? Yeah, I think that would be a much better ticket than watching this limp dick team. I mean, you brought up Alcantara. He's coming off Tommy John. There's no guarantee he's going to be very
I
good.
need
The rest of that
cut in here.
rotation
Did you
sucks.
just fucking say Leonardo Messi?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's his
Damn.
full name.
Lionel.
It's
Lionel.
Lionel.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, I was busy Googling Chase Stadium in Miami, which in
I
fact
was busy
does not have
Googling
a roof.
Leonardo Messi to see which Renaissance painter he was referring to. What the fuck?
Messi, whatever. You should watch Messi. It's a way better thing to watch. This team, whatever, the lineup is not going to be very great. The cleanup hitter, Jesus Sanchez, below average hitter. The whole outfield is just garbage. This is probably the worst outfield in baseball with Sanchez, Myers, and Kyle Stowers. There's not a whole lot to like about this team. Watch Matthew Tkachuk, watch Messi, watch Tua. No reason to watch this team.
Look,
Wow, that fell off. Kachuk, Messi, Tua Tagovailoa.
Look, Inter Miami is a nice collection of older, semi-retired stars, and it's fun to watch them play in the MLS and score a bunch of goals. But the fact remains, their stadium is open air, and you would have to sit in the humidity of Miami without the benefits of air conditioning. Whereas in Marlins Park, which has a fully retractable roof, and I confirmed air conditioning, you can sit inside in a nice breezy 70-something degrees and forget about the weather of Miami for a while, which is objectively horrible.
I would argue of the 5 most famous players between the two squads, 4 of them are on Inter Miami. Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba versus Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, you're getting in on the base level here. You're investing on these players young, and then when they have their Hall of Fame career with the Tigers, like Cabrera or Stanton with the Yankees or whatever, like you can say I was there when they were coming up, and they were. It's the charm of being a fan of a minor league team, but in a major league stadium. You get to watch these guys coming up and showing off their skills as young guys, and you don't have to sit in a tiny minor league stadium. You get the AC, you get all the amenities, and you get the benefit of what a lot of people observed during the pandemic, which was when there wasn't any fans. You could hear a lot more of what was going on in the field, and it added a lot more ambiance to the to the game. And since there's so few fans in the stadium, you get that year round, every season.
Nothing like hearing a well-placed F-bomb after a strikeout.
It adds to the authenticity. It's great.
I got to tell you, who was your all? That's okay. I'll enter my verdict, guys. I have to cut it off here. It's getting out of hand. The verdict is that Miami Marlins fans should not watch the Marlins at all this season, with the exception if you're going to the park. So it is so ordered.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us.
I could see watching them on the on the Sandy starts.
The
Like,
Sandy starts are, yeah. But
but
who the hell tortures themselves by watching the Marlins on TV with no AC?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
oh,
Go to the
absolutely.
ballpark.
I'd rather go on an Aaron Rodgers darkness retreat. Good God. Some horrible baseball being played over there.
Yeah, you gotta watch Sandy before he goes on that cigar boat and pulls a Jose Fernandez.
Joe, come on, dog. Bro, can we just avoid that? Can you just not? Can we not? Jesus Christ, dude.
I had that one written in there. I had to use it eventually.
You
Start with the Tua concussion joke and end with that. That's
oh my God. You know what? Yeah,
Your Honor, I'd like to file for a mistrial here where we're
that was horrendous. What is wrong with you, dog? Oh my gosh.
I had the Rittenhouse joke last
Hey,
week.
you guys could have traded for him, saved his life. Yeah, the Rittenhouse. Jesus.
I'm gonna have one for every single team. Just so you guys know this.
Can't wait. It is so hard. I literally forgot what I was going to talk about. That's how bad it was. I can't believe you said that, Colin. I'm not cutting that. I'm just leaving that in so you can deal with it.
I don't care.
Any future employers, did you make a tacky joke about Jose Fernandez dying on a podcast at one point? Yes. Well, we're going to come back with quick matchups we're looking forward to. Sorry, I'm getting like a PTSD stare based on like the Fernandez joke. Damn, that was so freaking tragic, bro. Like that's up there of like, damn. You know,
he was
like,
so good. He was
so
going to be so good for so long, and yeah,
bro.
No, it was really sad.
At one point, the Marlins, you would argue, had the best pitcher and the best hitter on the same team.
Yeah.
Like it was just
And they had Yelich.
and Yelich.
yeah, and Real
shoulder sag.
And they
That's
had who's the other outfielder? They had another one because their outfield I thought debatably had the argument to be the best in baseball that year. They had someone else who was pretty good. It was Yelich, Stanton, and
yeah. I don't remember.
there's one other guy.
But yeah, they had a nice solid core then, and it just again, all the more reason to get into the.
Was it Ozuna?
Yeah, Ozuna.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ozuna.
Oh my gosh.
Because I thought they had a great argument for best outfield in baseball.
Oh, for sure. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you look at, for example, the 2006 Marlins, when they had like 6 rookies in the starting lineup and they were projected to lose over 100 games, they played great all year round. That's when Dan Uggla just sort of burst on the scene, and Hanley and all those guys. Probably will happen again this year. And if not, well, next year.
Bro, I need real quick. 2015 Miami Marlins. I need to go down this. This team is pretty legit.
Oh yeah.
At catcher, JT Realmuto.
Mm-hmm.
First base, Justin Bour. Second base, D. Gordon. Shortstop, Adeiny Hechavarria. Okay, whatever.
That name doesn't ring a bell at all.
Yeah, third base, Martin Prado. And then the outfield is Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton. And then they have Ichiro coming off the bench, worst season of his career. This is a crazy team. They had Dan Heron, LOL, one of my favorite Twitter follows.
I throw 88.
Matt Latos, our friend Matt Latos.
Hmm.
This is a squad. And then Jose Fernandez at age 22. This is like, whoo, what a team, man.
Yeah, I mean, no, they made a habit of for a while there of just making nice starters like Josh Johnson, Ricky Nolasco, Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah.
A lot of solid guys for sure.
Yeah, Marlins RIP. By the way, that team lost 91 games. So
well, the
We'll be
infield
right
you named was a little rough.
yeah. We'll be back with the matchups we're looking forward to. Gratitude and rants. All right, guys, that was good. I like that, Mike. That was good. All right, you guys ready for our gratitude rants matchups?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And we're back. Thanks for joining us. We're circling third here and heading on home. We've got matchups we're most looking forward to and gratitude and rants. Of course, in this segment, we give the floor to a individual panelist and they will tell us the matchup they're looking forward to and then what they're grateful for in sports and their rant in sports. They can choose a length, generally, whatever they want to dedicate more time to. It tends to coincide with the personality, kind of, like the more positive people have longer gratitudes and Colin tends to have longer rants, but it's an interesting, it's a little nice segment. I'll kick us off today real quick. Matchup I'm most looking forward to. Murph, I got to talk to you real quick. I'm pretty pissed at Ping because we're going to a Cruz Azul game the night of Celtics versus Lakers, dude. Like, I want to watch that game. That's not cool. Like, I don't want to go to Cruz Azul. Like, I love Ping. It's his bachelor party. Actually, Dan, why don't you kind of settle this for us? Should you, and provided Ping is also he's a Celtics fan, huge Celtics fan. Do you honor the bachelor's request? Or do you pretend to get sick and stay in your room and watch the Lakers Celtics game?
What is this argument?
Like, do you have to go? It's Cruz Azul, so like, yeah, I know you guys, yeah, but like,
Cruz Azul, for those who don't know, are my second favorite soccer team in the world, and I've been to 3 of their games in Mexico. So I will have to say yes. I would go to the game. Going to a Liga MX game in person is always a very fun experience, and one that you cannot get here in the US. And at the end of the day, despite it also being my number one matchup I'm looking forward to, it is a regular season game. It'll be fine. You'll be okay.
boo. You know what else is that night? UFC 314. I'm not happy about any of this right now. Yeah, okay, but whatever. For Ping, we'll do it.
What? Of course we will. What is this?
This is bullshit, Colin. Like, I don't give a fuck about no soccer, dog. Like, you want me to fucking pretend to care about soccer for 2 hours while the Lakers are playing the Celtics, bro? Standing room tickets are $580. You don't want me to watch that on TV? Are you crazy? And in the capital of like tortas and tacos? Like, you want me to watch the stupid soccer game? I don't fucking care about soccer. All right, sorry.
Look, the Cruz Azul has not one but 2 very fun mascots. A rabbit, which I actually have here, incidentally. There he is. The rabbit mascot of Cruz Azul, and also an anthropomorphic cement bag because they are the cementeros, and that's my favorite. So yeah, who needs tacos and tortas and the Celtics Lakers when you can go watch the anthropomorphic cement bag do his thing? The best mascot in sports, in my opinion.
All right, so that's the matchup I'm looking forward to, I guess. Gratitude. Oh, gratitude. All right. I want to say real quickly, obviously, gratitude to Luka Doncic, who actually bought out a parking lot next to Staples Center to give fans free parking for the Dallas Mavericks Lakers game, which is a solid move. It was actually like across the street from my old apartment when in downtown. And then my real gratitude goes out to John Cena for finally embracing his inner heel and kicking Cody Rhodes in the nuts. Pretty sure that was shoot. Like, he actually kicked him in the nuts and then just proceeded to wail away. I did not know that a gold Rolex could be used like a set of brass knuckles. I learned that from John. I'm grateful for that. Thank you, John Cena. This man did a McDonald's commercial not too long ago, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have to pull that all down now because, holy hell. I don't think you can do a McDonald's commercial and then kick somebody in the nuts. All right, like, I don't know. Maybe Draymond gets a commercial, but what I'm saying is John Cena did something that was unprecedented that we didn't think was going to happen at all, and he totally made WrestleMania like an interesting thing this year. So, thank you, John Cena, for sacrificing. He's a Make-A-Wish record holder. Like, he's the record holder for most Make-A-Wishes granted. And oh man, those kids are gonna be upset. Because he is an asshole. So that's happening. And then my rant. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short. All right. I don't like Kendrick fans. I don't like this, like the old school Kendrick fans who are just like, who are all these new guys coming in? I don't like them. I just don't like gatekeeping fanhood. And that's like one thing that I really want to like touch on. You know what, dude? I don't mind all the bandwagon Dodger fans. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, great. You know, like, yeah, did you make my tickets more expensive? Yeah, probably. But like, that's great. We have a lot of people who care, and we can continue to, you know, jack up the prices and efficient market our tickets. And, you know, blow everybody out of the water in free agent spending. Like, sure. I just don't want gatekeeping. I think gatekeeping fanhood is like the lamest thing you can do. It's like, hey, you're a real fan or you're a fake fan. Are you a bandwagon fan or a fair weather fan? Like, dude, who cares? Like, who cares? Straight up, like, what? You want somebody to suffer as much as you did? That's a horrible sentiment. You know what I mean? Like, bro, just enjoy it. You know what the reward of being a hardcore fan is? Is when you win, it just feels a lot better. All right, like, Dan, when we followed the Dodgers when they were like freaking could not win a World Series, it sucked. It hurt. Like, It's hurt like a dick punch every year, okay? Like every year. All right, 17, 18, 19 when we get knocked out by the Nats. It hurts, bro. And baseball season is freaking long. All right, it's 162 games plus playoffs. Like, it hurts, bro.
It's a lot of time invested every year on that
when
team.
When we won in 20, what did we do? We bawled our eyes out because, oh my God, it finally happened, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
no, it was cathartic.
That's the best feeling. That's why you're a hardcore fan. It's a personal choice. So if somebody else wants to be a bandwagon fan and wear your Dodger gear, just let them, dog. Who cares? And like Kendrick fans, it's just like, oh, who are these new fans? Bro, did you know that like Kendrick Lamar is like for everybody? It's not just for you. Okay, like, and it just makes me sad. I don't believe in we should criticize somebody for selling out because they have a popular audience now. Like, dude, just let it go, dog. Just be happy. You know, like the reward is just seeing them win. So my thing is, don't be a gatekeeper of fan bases. That's not cool. All right.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I that's something that I flipped on when I was younger. Especially I remember with the Lakers that won back-to-back in 2009 and 2010. I was mad at all the bandwagon fans there. I was like, I was there for the Smush Parker years. I deserve to celebrate this more than y'all. But yeah, that's completely gone away in the last 14, 15 years. Like, yeah, it's sweeter when you have stuck through thick and thin, but yeah, it's also fun to be in a city with a whole bunch of fans of the same team. Like you feel like you're a part of something. It's cool.
The Radmanovich and Sasha Vujacic years. Oh.
Hey man, Sasha.
When that boy called himself the Machine, I was like, man. And I hated the Lakers at the time. Like, I jumped off the bandwagon.
Sasha's sister, I think, or maybe she was his cousin, but I think it was his sister. Went to my high school, and he like and she played on the volleyball team, and he showed up a couple times.
Yeah, the Machine.
Yeah,
and the Machinette. All right, Colin's been too quiet, so let's just make him next. Colin, what's your matchup you're looking forward to and gratitude?
I touched on a lot of things I'm going to watch, and it's going to be a lot of college basketball. No surprise there. But the matchup I'm most looking forward to probably this Sunday, Michigan playing in East Lansing at Michigan State. It's going to decide the Big Ten regular season title. Obviously, in-state rivalry. This is a massive game. Michigan State won the first one on Michigan's home court. Michigan's trying to get some payback here. They need to win. First, they need to take care of business against Maryland on Wednesday. Not going to be an easy game. But then Michigan State to close out the year should be an excellent game. 9:00 Sunday should be a lot of fun. Grateful. Actually, yeah, I'm grateful this year for the NCAA D3 tournament for finally getting over their East Coast and specifically, I'll say Northeast bias. And the SCIAC got 3 teams in for the first time in its history. So we're very happy about that. A little bit of beef with how the rankings broke out on this, because I don't necessarily think it was fair. Claremont Mudscripts won the conference tournament, got the automatic bid, but they're going to play a team that's hosting the pod in New Jersey that's not even ranked. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me how our conference tournament champ got disrespected like that. Cal Lutheran was our back-to-back regular season champion, ranked number 22 in the country. They're taking them out to Houston, and Cal Lu is the highest ranked team in the pod. There's no reason that game should not be in Thousand Oaks. That's the whole point of the pod. The highest ranked team is supposed to be hosting the pod. I get they didn't quite bring it home in the conference tournament, but this is a team that kind of ran through the conference pretty easily. Last but not least is the highest ranked team that the SCIAC has. Redlands ranked number 14th in the country. I ranted about them earlier for beating us by 81 earlier in the year at their place. But they actually did get respected enough to at least host. They're the only SCIAC team that is going to host, even though all 3 SCIAC teams are the highest ranked teams in their pods. Sorry, Redlands actually is not the highest ranked team in the pod. They're just the only ones hosting. The other 2 that are on the road are the highest ranked teams in their pod. Redlands actually hosts Tufts, who's ranked number 13 in the country. I don't know why Tufts got disrespected that way. It's nice that at least one of the SCIAC teams got something going. So yeah, glad that we at least got 3 teams in, chance to prove it on the floor. SCIAC's played a very high level for a while, and they normally, in general, I think they snub us because they don't want to pay for the costs of transportation and flying everyone across the country. But it was good that 3 good teams all got respected this year. On the flip side, the rant, it's just more about the Nico trade. Obviously, speedrunning everything, and then the gall to announce jerking up the season ticket prices. Do you have no shame? It's just really bad. I feel bad for all the Dallas fans. It's just gonna be a really rough next couple of years. The whole move was supposed to put him on a 3-year window, and now Anthony Davis is ruined this year with his injuries. They're the 10 seed. They're not going to even host a game. They might even get run down by the Suns, although the Suns are in a funk too. Kyrie's not going to be back until the middle of next year. He's definitely taking that player option. That's going to hurt versatility, like what you can do with the cap. It's just tough to be optimistic if you're a Mavs fan. And when you're looking at potentially having the next decade being open for you, to be staring down this, that's tough. Feel really rough for them.
You know, you got to kind of do something about ticket prices. You can't just leave them alone. You know, you got to just keep inflating. Colin, you got to do something.
The Pistons did not raise their prices, and they soared up to the 6th seed this year. And
the Pistons have no right to raise anything except their ranking. Like, they need to get up in the standings before they do anything. The Mavs are coming off a finals win or a finals appearance, right? Like, that's like, it's the team that did that, not Luka. You know, like,
I believe all 9 players that played average double-digit minutes in that finals are either injured or off the team right now.
Yep.
So I don't know what you're getting the season tickets to watch. It's not the finals team. I guess it's Jason Kidd.
I legit think Dumont and Adelson are just burning up all the Nico goodwill or bad will, whatever it is. This poor sock puppet is just taking all the punishment, and they're just going to take him off and throw him in the garbage when they're done, and he's going to get fired. I don't know what he did to deserve this treatment, but like, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of ownership making these decisions and just being like, all right, Nico, you're paid to live with it, so go out there and live with it. You know, and just like,
I just can't get behind that conspiracy theory, just because, like, even if they said they were like, you have to trade Luka, like, for whatever reason, we don't want to give him the super max, whatever reason it is, that does not excuse the return. There's no reason they said don't get all the first round picks you can get. First round picks cost nothing. Like, there's no way Nico is excused here. Like,
okay,
even
that part I agree.
Yeah, like
the return is still awful.
Yeah, they shopped him. Yeah, like the rumor came out that they maybe offered him for Anthony Edwards as well. But like, they barely shopped him around. They could have gotten so many picks. They could have gotten so much, but instead he focused in on his defensive guy, who got hurt in his first game with the team.
Also, the
I'm
Timberwolves,
so glad somebody liked him that much. You know,
also the Timberwolves and Bucks both refuted the posts that like Dallas leaked. What they said is that Nico did call them about Anthony Edwards and Giannis, but they did not tell them that Luka was on the table. They just asked what it would take to get them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like not the same because
you assume that it's not you're not offering Luka in that case, because only an insane person.
GM opens with like, "Hey, I want this player." Like, what are you asking? Like, what kind of horrible negotiating is that? Like,
are we
that
sure
sounds like the guy who would.
Are we sure that's not what Pelinka did?
Oh,
are we sure that's not what Pelinka did? Just random dart in the dark. It's like, hey,
like literally. Apparently, Pelinka picked up the phone and was like, "Wait, are you serious? Like, what?
Wait, are you serious? Let me talk you down and hold on to my pick."
Well, I didn't get to talk to him, so the draft pick conversation is going to be a little, you know.
Here's how it happened. Nico called him. It's like, hey, we're thinking about Luka, trading Luka. It's like, are you serious? Oh, what? You think it's a bad idea? No, I meant he's so fat. Like, I mean, who would want him? yeah, it's totally what I meant.
And blow up the league. Oh, yeah. I don't know about this one, Nico. Let me call you back. Hey, Jeannie. So we need to take down all the Anthony Davis related promotional material that we have up, and yeah.
I think I need to go to the hospital. It's been longer than 4 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Jeannie, do you have $350 million by any chance? Because I'm about to make the move of the century. Holy hell! Oh,
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. It really is. Every game I watch, I might need to call my doctor. You know,
the only thing I like about it is honestly it has switched up the Western Conference playoffs to something I think is a lot better for my Rockets, because I was not liking staring down a matchup against the Lakers. I thought with Anthony Davis, LeBron, even, you guys are going to beat us pretty easily. I like being matched up against the Grizzlies a lot more. And I think for the lulz, the Nuggets eliminating you guys again is going to be pretty funny.
We need to save that. Yeah. / remind me. Because
who is guarding Nikola Jokic on this team.
Everybody. Did you not watch that game? We
Rui
dog
Hachimura,
raced-
man.
Dude, we boat raced their ass, man. We dog walked them.
The Nuggets are not scared of you guys. Like,
We
come on.
dog walked them at their place, bro. Like
They do not
This
care.
is not a profoundly unserious series. Okay, like I don't.
is playing taps on the Nuggets.
I'm playing the Caps right now. It's over. Y'all should have traded Michael Porter Jr. when you had a chance. All right, like this is. Why are we even watching this crap? Like, who's tuning in?
Well, if we do end up playing them, I definitely will. Yeah, I'll be a lot more excited for that series than previous, just because of the Luka versus Jokic. Like having a guy like Luka in a series against Jokic, like it feels like the sort of series where Luka will be elevated. Like he sort of rises to the occasion in matchups like that, despite the lack of an actual center. Oh, okay.
This is the most egregious thing you've ever done.
I just need to put it out there, guys. It was
One
won by
game.
20 points.
One game. He's seen enough.
I've seen enough. Just
NBA
follow
regular
through.
season.
That's all you have to do.
Famously
not watch the
indicative of how the games are going to go.
I just here lie the Denver Nuggets. Playoff hopes. What are you guys, a 7 seed? Are you even serious this year?
They're the 3.
There, yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
That's who you passed to get to the 2 seed.
Oh. Well, there you are.
They're having Jokic is second in MVP voting right now.
Okay, Jokic numbers are nasty. I will agree with that. Every time I look at a Jokic box score, I'm like, I didn't know those
Very
numbers were
noble of you
possible
to
together. That's pretty
acknowledge
crazy.
That Jokic is a good player.
That Nikola Jokic is something. I will say no, but the game plan against Jokic, if we can do that for 4 games, oh, we're cruising. Just deny
I
the ball
agree
front.
that if
Question isn't
we
even necessarily-
can play against them the way that we played in that one game for 4
Yeah.
games, that we will win the series.
do I worry that we might not be able to do that? Yes, because we're old. But like,
Jamal Murray
dog.
was put on this earth to just break Laker hearts and nothing else.
yeah, Jamal Murray versus everybody else. Jamal Murray versus the Lakers. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. You know, like what the hell?
Well,
Oh. No, it's gonna be great. 4-1, us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Don't
for
even
that.
watch it, dude. Yeah, wake me up for OKC.
No, you have another bachelor party. You'll be watching Tijuana versus Chivas.
Oh, I'm gonna kill Pink, dude. I can't believe. And
it's
you
a
know
head
why
of-
he's doing
it's a
that?
head of
Because he's
blue
scared that his team's gonna
for
lose.
me.
I know he knows that the Celtics are gonna lose, and that's why we're doing that.
He booked this before the trade.
Yeah, I know. He was scared of AD, and now he's even scared of Luka. Did I
Right.
say scared her?
Uh-huh.
I don't give a shit anymore.
This ended up being the world's longest rant.
Yeah.
This is a great rant.
Yeah, I still
Hey, it
haven't gone.
reflects our personalities. All right, Dan.
Yeah, I'll go pretty quick, and mine are all on theme. The match, more or less, the matchup that I'm most looking forward to really is Lakers Celtics. But since you already mentioned it, I'll shout out Arsenal Man U on the weekend, which nice rivalry game. Should be fun, especially after how Arsenal played today. They won 7-1 in the Champions League against PSV, so they're riding that high. Should be fun at Old Trafford. But going back to Lakers Celtics, I am really, really hoping that that the uniforms will be appropriate this time, because my rant is, as Colin predicted, the uniform. They had this big matchup of Luka playing against the Mavs in LA, and LA, the Lakers came out in their purple uniforms at home, which completely hide them in front of their purple like key, like the paint, and it's the silliest thing I've ever seen. When I hate teams wearing road uniforms at home in general, but especially when the road uniform that they pick is the exact same color as the court and they just disappear in front of the court. It is the worst. And to have a game of that magnitude with all the hoopla going around the Luka trade, and then having that sort of visual slop on the screen was the worst. So I'm hoping that this first Lakers Celtics game on the weekend which is such a significant game for the Lakers and for Luka in his Lakers career. I'm hoping that they go with the proper uniform combination. But staying on theme, the one thing that I'm thankful for, and the note that I had here is the Mavericks trade that keeps on giving, but specifically the thing that we haven't called out yet was the absolutely dramatic shots of Nico Harrison watching Luka warm up before the game. If y'all saw those, Luka just like minding his own business, and they managed to frame Nico Harrison just like looking like a soap opera villain, like stewing, like this guy, this fat guy. Look at him shooting his shots.
This fat lard put up threes.
Just absolutely just emanating so much hate, even after everything. It was, it's hilarious, and it really just keeps on giving in unexpected ways. Like, it just keeps coming up. It's great. Like, I sent it to you guys. It has its own Wikipedia page by now, the Luka Doncic trade.
Not to go full Charlie Day, Pepe Sylvia here, but I think we can actually blame Reddit for this whole thing. Because if you know, like several years ago, Reddit actually shut down the subreddit Fat People Hate for being a hate subreddit.
Yeah.
Nico Harrison was probably a mod of that. And with his free time now, ended up getting the GM job of the Dallas Mavericks. And this is what happened. So I actually think Reddit's moderation actually is to blame for here, because that sub was where we kept these people to keep them to not interact with the regular public.
Nico Harrison might be the smartest Reddit mod who ever lived. Dude, Dan, to your point, the purple jerseys are slimming. I'm wearing black because it makes me look a little thinner. It trims the figure a little bit.
Sure.
Our yellow jerseys do not do anybody any favors. If poor Shaq had to wear these like pale yellow jerseys, he would look like Big Bird, and we would die laughing. Like, Shaq, drop the fork. Like, Shaq, go to Sweet Green now. Like, what are you doing? Shaq did not look good in the gold. Like,
I disagree on that. I think I liked Shaq in the gold, but I will agree that purple is slimming, especially when in front of a purple court, so they disappear entirely.
You can't even see them.
Yeah,
but
nothing is more slimming than being invisible.
Did I tell you I mistook Dalton Connect for Luka Doncic the other day? Then I looked at the arm; it was on the tip dunk against the Clippers. He had a tip dunk, and then I was like, "Damn, Luka's actually kind of lean." And I look, and I was like, "Oh no, that's Dalton Connect." Like, his bicep actually has definition. I'm like, oh damn, look. Oh, never mind. That's Dalton Connect.
Never mind.
Ah, damn it. I personally love that he's a little, there's more to love. I love that about Luka. I think that's amazing. Because
again, I think we were saying last week, like, if you're running a team and Luka Doncic is on there and he wants to drink his sweet tea with lemonade, like, get a sponsorship. Have a spout in his locker for him to drink as much as he wants.
Get him Twisted Tea for all I fucking care. All right, like, get him a goddamn tap of Twisted Tea for all I care. Like, do not take this man's beer away. All right, like, and give him more alcohol. He wants to drink. Let him have a party. I don't give a shit. You go 29 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I don't give a fuck what you do, man.
He hasn't even been playing that well. Like,
I know,
but it doesn't matter. Like, he just sort of elevates the team anyways. And
it's a freaking
comes
party.
out with the crazy play. Yeah, it's great.
And we have Black Luka on our team too, which is crazy. Like,
who's that?
LeBron.
No. Black Luka plays for the Clippers.
No, it's LeBron.
Play style wise, come on, it is Harden.
They're the same. LeBron and Luka are the same player.
Absolutely not.
No. Luka is playing defense like LeBron did like 2 years ago. When like
Harden,
he doesn't care. Like, it's just like, damn, I know he doesn't give a shit. Like, no.
Yeah.
They're the same player.
It's Harden. It's Harden. That's the comp.
It's just not. Yes. No, that's so flattering to James Harden. Are you kidding me? That's absurd.
I mean, I agree. He's a better version of it. But like, if you look at the way they do the step backs, the way they draw fouls, like, you can tell that he took a lot of inspiration from James Harden with how he plays the game, not LeBron.
I'll accept he's a white, better James Harden. I'll accept that.
Also, you even look at the combine tests or whatever. Like, what was the one thing Luka excelled at? He was in the 97th percentile on deceleration. That's Harden. Like, that was the one thing Harden excelled at as well. Like,
he did have that very nice deceleration the other game. Yeah. nothing else was working for him, but he's still
He can still
He can
do
stop
that.
and get
Yeah.
rammed in the back. Yeah.
He can get trucked and then make a shot. You know,
Yeah.
like that's his thing.
Well, that's
There's
why
al-
you cultivate all that mass so that you can
That's
get
right.
trucked and not get
Absorb
knocked
it
down.
and still make the shot.
Yeah.
You got to follow through on the jumper, man.
He's perfect for LA for that reason, because like all the drivers here, he'll cut you off and then brake check you and try to get you to ram him in the back.
Hey, that is a scam that is all across America, not just here. Okay, like
It's more
I
egregious on
like Harden.
6-lane across highways, though.
yeah, I like Harden. Murph, to your point, they do have similar play styles, and you know why Luka gets love for it and Harden gets hate for it? Simple race. The white guy, of course, the white guy is going to get love for it because the white guy is sneaky athletic and he can't. What do you expect him to do? Yeah, he knows how to decelerate and take shots, but James should be dunking and doing windmills and doing 360s because he's supposed to be like more athletic, and so we crap on James Harden and we have a double standard for Luka. When Murph, I will say, James Harden could never be the passer that Luka was, and like Luka is. Like James Harden can never be that.
He's an amazing passer.
He's an
I think
amazing
what hurt Harden
passer.
the most
He can't
was
sniff
having his
Luka's
mom be his
jaw.
agent.
No,
Like teams had no issue like just slamming him and like slandering him because there's no relationship that you're ruining with an agent or agency because you're just ruining with Harden and his mom, and they would never respond to anything. And so he just would get trashed by any front office that wanted to just leak stuff about him. And then the media and stuff, Woj, like those guys could write with impunity because again, they're not burning contacts. That's the point. Like, Woj like does hits on agencies and stuff that don't give him access. That was kind of Woj's whole thing. Like his reporting was always good, but his articles were all basically propaganda trash with whoever was feeding him information. Harden was the one superstar because of the way that he was set up with not being with any of the major agencies where you could kind of blaspheme him like and have no like blowback to do so. I think that's what hurt Harden more than anything.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and it's not like he signed. If he would have signed with Nike, I think he would have been even better off.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
you had
he
Nike
ended up
mad
signing
at him
with Adidas.
too. Yeah,
and he just got massacred. But yeah, no, I mean, sorry, Colin, he's not as good a passer as Luke. Nobody is. I think LeBron might be the only one that's like comparable. Or
Jokic right now, like
Jokic.
Yeah.
He's hitting them in the freaking hands. All right,
So
like
that one pass that we were blowing up the group chat for last week. That was the
behind the back,
right
was
in his
disgusting.
hands,
literally into his shooting pocket.
Yeah,
Harden could never. All right, like
I mean,
never happened.
You should watch some more late 2010s James Harden.
James Harden was great.
He's great. I'm not saying he's bad.
But it required. I had to wait until you said that Luka is a better version for me to fully agree. But like, not like Harden was great. I really liked those late. Yeah, those peak Harden years. He was a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know about fun to watch, but the box scores was definitely fun. Damn, James Harden at 52 today? Shit, okay.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't all free throws.
37 from the
he
line.
made some, he made some good plays
points from
amidst
the
free
field
throws.
And 36 free throws made. Hell yeah.
I mean, he had that month or whatever where he averaged 40. Like, that was one of the most impressive scoring runs.
Dude, that season was one of the most impressive scoring seasons I've ever seen. I think he averaged like 36 points. It's like the highest average since like freaking Michael.
He got absolutely robbed on the MVP again. The voters never showed him the respect he deserved. Westbrook stole one of his, and Giannis stole another one.
Okay. That Giannis year, he deserved it. The Westbrook one, I agree. Everybody was just obsessed with the triple doubles. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
All right. I told you that was coming too. I was like, Murph, like he's averaging a triple double. They're just gonna pull this one out of his ass. They were like the 7th seed that year or something. It was something horrible, and just because he had a triple double, it's like, oh yeah, give it to him. But Giannis deserved it. Get the hell out of here. He definitely deserved that shit. He was way better on defense than Harden ever could be. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you average over 36 a game on elite
efficiency. I don't give a shit. This guy doesn't give up buckets either. You switch him 1 through 5. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. Like, get the hell out of here. He deserved it that year.
For what it's worth, Harden had almost like a full more wind chairs.
The Giannis shoes.
Oh god, not the wind chairs.
I mean, he averaged 36, 7.5, and 6. Like that. Go on, those are MVP numbers.
Great player.
Colin, he finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Like, he is freaking incredible. All right. And I think we were all talking about his defense at the time. It's like, yo, you can switch Giannis 1 through 5. Like, that's how athletic he is. And his hands are fucking huge. Like, what are you going to do with it's like a mobile tree. It's like a tree with wheels. This is what
But
he's
don't you
just
remember,
everywhere.
like, Chris Paul was hurt. Everyone was hurt. Harden was getting trapped at midcourt. He shot 37% for 3 on step back double team threes. People were literally standing behind him. They were so scared of the step back 3. He was getting defended in the most ridiculous ways.
I do remember.
No one could stop him.
I think literally Scottie Pippen was like, "Yeah, I'll play him from the back," and I was like, "Scottie, this guy's got a floater. Like, you let him in, and he's gonna, you know." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll play him from the back," and then he does like a little hip check with his hand, and I'm like, "You can't do that anymore, Scottie. Like, you can't guard this guy. Just stop. He was unstoppable that year. I'll give you that. He was, as they say, a bucket, but Giannis was freaking unstoppable that year. That was the Giannis coming out party, like, for real. That was like, I'm here, best player in the league.
Yeah. We're all ready to award him the Westbrook MVP retroactively. I think we all agree on that. Yeah.
No, that's definitely.
I agree that the Giannis one is more debatable. I still think
it's not debatable, Colin.
Absolutely
okay, he
is.
was all right. It was one of the most impressive offensive seasons we've ever seen, right? Like, hands down. It's the most impressive offensive season I've ever seen from like a advanced metric standpoint. Because, like, this doesn't make any damn sense. Like, you can't just do that.
I think it was the best offensive season of the 21st century. Like, 2016
yes.
Curry is like Curry's like ridiculous years. The only other one that really comes to mind on there, but like, he basically did what everyone loved, like Kobe doing, except for he did it better on more efficiency.
That it's the Kobe, it's the 06 Kobe, but he did it more efficiently
and with way more assists.
And like, his teammates were equally shit. Like, it was like,
yeah, we
there's
got
no
Kenneth
reason
Faried.
this team should be winning games.
Faried
like,
started for 3 months on that team and like revitalized his career.
Faried, the manimal.
Yeah, he was out of the league. We basically signed him off the street, like, and then he like instantly started like performing. It was ridiculous.
I saw him play at the Drew League once. That was fun, but yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, this was one of the most impressive offensive seasons I'd ever seen.
Yeah, he was great for sure. Yeah. But so was Giannis.
Giannis was incredible. His per 100, he averaged 48 points. That's insane. Oh my god. Yeah, spamming James Harden was your offense that year. It really was. It's just there was no other offense. Like,
no, there wasn't. Because
put the ball in James' hand. James, figure it out. I don't know what to do. Okay, I will win you however many games that won. How many did the 53 games, and we'll finish third in the Western Conference with this offense.
Yeah, it's a great offense.
Yeah, but Giannis is a better player.
Giannis, 28, 12, and 6, and second in the Defensive Player of the Year. Like, that's
switch them 1 through 5.
Yeah, but
you have to switch them onto the 5, you know, so that you can bump the guy at like low center of gravity his ass out of the paint, you know, like.
Oh yes, the Luka strategy.
Yes.
That's the real key to stopping Jokic.
That's the real amazing thing about this Luka run, though, is that he actually looks engaged on defense. Like, he's at least getting in the lane and shit. And I was like, damn, Luka, we don't even have to hide you that much.
People who scored over 36 points a game in the NBA season. Wilt Chamberlain in 62, Wilt Chamberlain in 63, Wilt Chamberlain in 61, Wilt Chamberlain in 60, Wilt Chamberlain in 1964, and Michael Jordan 86, 87.
Yeah.
James Harden.
Yeah.
That's the most ESPN stat I ever heard. Wow, why don't you cherry pick more random numbers of points per game for me? You know,
I mean,
why don't you expand it to 35 so you can add 06 Kobe as well? I think he was at 35.4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I memorized that number.
Yeah, you actually hit it. Dang on.
Yeah.
But no, it's the same. It's the same season, just different results. Yeah. And 06 Kobe didn't win the MVP, Colin.
Yeah, because they were like the 8 seed.
Yeah. And you guys were the 3 seed.
That's
so
much better.
Who gives a shit? You're not the 1 seed.
One, you're hosting playoff games. The other one, you're not.
The other one we snuck in because, your second best player was Smush fucking Parker, bro. Like, that team was so bad, bro. Are you kidding me? Oh my lord.
Smush.
Oh, you know what, Smush? No disrespect. But
a little disrespect.
You were not good, man. No, our second best player was Lamar. I give it Lamar.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
Lamar
true.
was great.
Yeah.
I give Lamar his flowers, but like, yo, no, stop that. Stop that. Okay, it's basically the same shit. All right.
Yeah, Smush
I mean-
Parker started all 82 games that year.
Jesus fucking Christ! I cannot imagine
Averaged
a darker
33.8 minutes per game.
sentence. Oh my lord! Oh, I'm seeing this right now. That's insane. He played more games than Kobe.
Harden's second player is Clint Capella. Like, come on.
Didn't Kobe break his finger that season?
I mean, he did one of those years. I don't remember.
I feel like he broke his finger multiple times. It was
He
just
broke
like,
his
fuck it,
finger.
I'll
He
just-
also like lacerated it one year, and like was like it was like
In a
like he
splint,
broke
right?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he like cut it with like glass in his garage or something. Like that was yeah.
I mean, that's
like-
not special. I lacerated my finger cutting up vegetables for dinner tonight. Like,
Cool. Did you
yeah. How many
did
points?
you play 82 games in the season after that? Like, did you average 30?
I remember learning the word laceration because of Kobe. Because
Oh.
of that.
Yikes.
oh, yeah, we had that one because of fishing.
Mm.
A lot of lacerations on the boat. Shockingly, pulling out knives on wavy ocean water
Not a
leads
good
to
idea.
lots of
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Weird.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it.
Oh, shout out Kobe, man. What a season. But yeah, no, Merv, no one's gonna take away that it was a great MVP season, or it was an MVP worthy season, if not for Giannis just being better.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I think we've just I think we've hit a stalemate on this one because
Yeah.
I think we all agree that they like Harden's season was great, but
Yeah.
two of us
What
just
was the most egregious MVP of the 21st century? Like, what was the most disgusting one? I would suggest to you Russell Westbrook is up there.
I think
'Cause it's
Westbrook's
like-
is the worst for sure. My second one is Derrick Rose's.
Ooh, see,
that
that's
was
where
that
we're
was
gonna
pretty
fight. No,
narrative driven. Yeah,
It was narrative driven, but also like Derrick Rose was incredible. Like,
Derrick Rose was
but it
yeah,
was like
I
one of
love
those, like,
Derrick Rose, but
it's the Kobe argument. Like, you have to watch the freaking game to like understand the impact of Derrick Rose on a basketball game. It's like,
They were elite
He's-
because of their defense, and he was the worst defender on the team. Like, yes, he was the only thing going from an offense.
He's
Keith
their
Hogan
offense.
certainly wasn't. But at the end of the day, I would have given it to Dwight.
ooh, I like that take. But I
Like,
don't
you-
think that's as cut and dry as Harden should have won it over Westbrook, the triple double.
No. Yeah, Westbrook is the worst to me. Number two would
Okay.
be Derrick Rose's. 3, I'm torn between I don't like Giannis's, but I honestly think it's Kobe's over Chris Paul. I would have given Kobe's to Chris Paul.
Oh, you know what? But that would have left Kobe with 0.
I mean,
And that he should
if
have won it
that's
in
what-
06.
I think he has a better argument for 06 than like the Chris Paul one. Chris Paul was out of his mind that year. And they were the two and they were the 2 seed that year too. Like the Hornets were good. Chris Paul played absurd.
I don't think
I honestly
seed should
think Kobe
count.
got it as a legacy award.
I don't
like, he
think
hadn't
seed
gotten
should
one.
count unless you're the 1 seed. Like, I mean,
mean-
in order to get the seeding bump, you should be the 1 seed. Because we're talking about MVP, right? Like,
Yeah.
if your breakout coincided with your team making the 1 seed, like that's an MVP season. And I think that's why Derrick Rose kind of got his, because the Bulls were the 1 seed that year, right?
Yeah, they were the ones.
yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy because that was the Heatles, right? Like that was during peak Heatles. So, I think they had to pick somebody on that team, which I get. And Derrick Rose,
I mean, yeah, Derrick Rose was a phenomenon that year. Like he was in
Yeah.
every highlight reel. He was at fly. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
So
he was
fun
so
to
much
watch.
fun.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah. Probably do 5.
statistically,
Westbrook,
Yeah.
Rose,
Yeah.
true shooting
Kobe,
percentage wise, like Derrick Rose is in the top 10. Yeah, I get that.
Giannis.
but yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
Those would be my 4.
it made sense.
I got a spicy one. Allen Iverson, 2000, 2001.
That's another good one.
I think it should have been Shaq.
I'm not a huge guy on the this is a really good defensive team, so let's give it to the inefficient chucker that like kind of carried the offense. So yeah, I mean it's the same reason I don't really like Rose's. Similarly, I don't like Iverson's. That would probably be my 5th. I was trying to think what the 5th one would be for me, and that would probably be it. Iverson, Giannis, Kobe,
Westbrook.
Westbrook, and Rose.
Dan,
Those are my 5.
do Agree,
Yeah,
disagree?
I mean, that sounds about right. I definitely, yeah. The one that sprang to mind was the one that we also covered, which was Kobe when he averaged 35, not winning. Was it Nash that won again
Yeah, it
that
was
year?
Nash,
Nash,
LeBron.
Yeah.
I thought LeBron had a pretty good argument at 31-7-6, and
Well, I
his
mean
team was-
that's the other thing. LeBron has a pretty good argument a lot of the years, like
yeah.
the
I
sort
would
of
have, yeah,
voter
I would have
fatigue
gone.
argument. Yeah.
I guess my thing on that though still is I think Harden's argument in 2019 is better than Kobe's argument. Like the Rockets were a better team. Harden was much more
No.
efficient.
Get the F out of here. No.
Based on going over these numbers, I admit that it's debatable in 2019. I think I'd still give it to Giannis in that case because Giannis was just awesome that year. But I agree that Harden was an MVP worthy season that year. Like,
Yeah, it
a
is
really good argument.
MVP worthy, but it's like I think the distance between Giannis and Harden was like, like the resume points wise and the narrative wise, it's also Giannis has that covered. Like it was his first one. It was like his breakout and all that. Like I thought.
But narratives
you weren't going to go
shouldn't
against that.
matter.
What's up?
Narrative shouldn't matter. Like
unfortunately, it does because Russell Westbrook won it for getting double-digit averages in meaningless categories.
Exactly. I think the whole idea of the exercise is to try and look back and be a little removed from the narratives and sort of be more objective with it.
If we remove from the narrative and be objective, it was a 1 seed. It was Giannis. He was killing it. The expectation was that they were going to win a title that year. Like because they were so freaking good, right? Like, and a lot of it has to do with Giannis. It's like it was chiefly Giannis.
No, the narrative for that year was the title was going to be Rockets or Warriors. It was they're rematching the 2018.
They should be playing for a title. Sorry.
Yeah, losing to whoever comes out of the West. That was the narrative for that.
Yeah. They should win the East, and it's because this guy is averaging, 27 points a game, 12 rebounds. These are insane numbers for back then. Like 27.7, 12 and a half, 6 assists. Almost 3 steals and blocks combined. So like, that is a phenomenal season.
Yeah,
defensively.
I think, I mean, Harden's offensive season, he was an offense unto himself. He was an offensive supernova that year. But for me, the defense of Giannis plus his already strong offensive production puts him over for me, because Giannis still averaged 28 points, 6 assists. Like he was a very strong offensive player too, and he was a killer defensive player.
Yeah.
But I agree that it's that is like Harden had an amazing season. Absolutely, like it's debatable because of that.
So who's number 1 on this list of like most ridiculous?
I think we all agree it's Westbrook.
I'm glad we're all on the same page. You know what kills me about him is his assists weren't even good assists.
Oh no!
Oh my god! Like his passing was horrendous. Good God.
Yeah.
I think it's tough to say anything but Westbrook and Rose were the 2 worst.
Rose was, I think LeBron should have won it that year, or Dwight, or one of those 2. Dwight ended up making that was the year Dwight. No, they didn't make it. That was a year after.
Yeah.
2010, right? Sorry.
Yeah, they lost in the semis.
Dwight was coming off a finals appearance. Yeah.
But I mean, just look at the rest of that team. There's no reason that team should have been a top 5 defense.
What?
There's one reason they were top 5 defense.
What? No.
Just disrespecting Turkoglu like that?
Dude, that was the first person I thought of. Like, Turkoglu catches strays out here, bro. Come on.
Rashard Lewis, defensive stopper.
Lewis?
Maybe
lanky Rashard Lewis? Vince Carter getting 30 minutes a game at age 33? Jesus Christ. What is this team?
Yeah. So, I mean, those 2, I do think Iverson's a good shout. But yeah, I would throw in Kobe, although I know that one's contentious.
Oh, and the Steve Nash. Both of those Steve Nash's ones.
No, the first Nash one is.
I was gonna say the first one I don't have a problem with. The first one makes sense to me and was deserving. The second one I would agree with it to Kobe.
The second one was full narrative based because Stoudemire got hurt, and then the offense kept running, and like they traded away Joe Johnson that offseason, and the offense kept running. It was kind of a thing of like, okay, the Suns kind of jumped on the scene. They broke all the offensive record efficiency stuff. Then they lost a bunch of the guys, and the offense still stayed elite.
Yeah,
and so it's like they just gave it to Nash again. But his stats don't really bear it out, really.
it's not even the stats. It's just like, look at the other guys on here. It's like Shaq, Dirk, like prime Dirk, like was going to go to the finals next year, Dirk. This is some great ass seasons.
He went to the finals that year.
Yeah.
Oh, for 05?
Yeah, 05 was the one that they lost.
No, 06.
06 is the one that they
the
lost
Heat.
to the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, who was it? Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. 05 was the Spurs. Yeah.
So I'm a little. I don't like these Steve Nash ones, but okay.
I like the first one just because like that team was so awful the year before, and then he came in and basically him coming in with the D'Antoni offense had just sort of like created that Suns team all at once, and it was very clear that it was sort of his arrival that catalyzed that, and that like that team was good enough and like impressive enough that regular season that it made sense to me, but him winning again the year after is I would agree.
Remember 2000s basketball, like the offenses were ISO heavy, stale, boring.
Yeah,
like then the Suns come in or whatever, and they just obliterate like all the metrics.
That was the first team that I remember watching, and like the same thing that happened with the Warriors later. Like they didn't feel like they were out of any game. Like they could just catch fire and make up any deficit right at the end, and it was like you never felt safe with them just because they were that good on offense.
And now even looking back, I think the team actually ages better because they look like a team that's out of place. They look like a team from the future dropped back into the mid 2000s.
That was a fun team, especially when Stoudemire, pre-Stoudemire injury, Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Ash,
Diao,
Diao when he with them, he was really good too.
He was the small ball 5, right, for that team.
Yeah,
I think Diao was the small ball.
I think that was after the Stoudemire injury. They sort of incorporated that more.
Yeah, they used him. They used Marion at the 5 a couple times, ridiculously so. And they had Tim Thomas.
Tim Thomas.
I mean,
the big thing really is like, dude, if
Leandro Barbosa was fun with them.
If they just paid Joe Johnson,
they had so many of. They also like gave away Luol Deng for free, like the draft pick, just because they didn't want to. Sarver didn't want to pay. Yeah. That team could have been great.
Dan, I secretly think you're going to defend this Steve Nash 0405 because of how much it triggers Shaq. Like,
no, I mean, maybe subconsciously, but like I loved that team. Like, despite them destroying us whenever we played, but I literally had a Steve Nash jersey back then. Like, I was a big fan. Yeah,
I mean, as a Laker fan, I could be happier to watch them obliterate them. Or as a Laker hater at the time. I was I soured on the Lakers when they traded Shaq, and I went with Shaq to root for whatever team he was going to.
Yeah, I think I still have it somewhere. I had the orange PHX Nash jersey.
I think I might have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. That's treacherous, by the way. Given your allegiances.
I mean, I've always been comfortable having jerseys of other teams because my like actual fanhood is so firm. Like I don't feel like it. Yeah,
that's like I'm very secure in my sexuality.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with doing something.
So I'm very secure in my fanhood.
I am not. When I go to other stadiums and I try to get a hat from a lot of stadiums I go to, I get the St. Patty's Day one, so they're always green. So I have like a green Cubs hat. I have the green, white, and orange Phillies hat, which orange should not be on a St. Patty's Day hat. Like, I think you're kind of missing the whole point of the holiday there.
Murph, don't get anything green from Chicago because that's a gang affiliated thing out there. So apparently wearing like green sports gear in Chicago, the green Derrick Rose jersey is like actually like a gang affiliated thing, and that's why that jersey sold so well. Like, there's like a very specific gang that wears a lot of green, and
that actually makes sense. I wore my Packers stuff there, and that's all green, obesally, and I got a lot of shit from people for it, and I didn't really.
That must be why they were giving you shit, and not because you're a cheesehead. Oh my God,
yeah. The one White Sox game that I've been to, I went with my parents, and it was St. Patty's Day in September was the like promo. And they gave away the green White Sox shirts to everyone. And
Oh, they do it on like the solstice, I guess, of it.
Exactly. September 17th.
Were these the leftover ones that they couldn't give away last year?
Just keep doing it.
We're back here again, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Until these all get sold out, we're gonna keep doing it till we get it right, boys.
I have a lot of green hats, basically.
That's insanity. Did you get a default Boston Celtics hat? I do wonder that.
No, I haven't been to the Celtics arena.
Okay, because that would be a conundrum. Like,
Yeah, I will say, like, I'm very comfortable in my fan head, but there are some teams I wouldn't like. I would not get any Celtics gear. Like, I do love Bill Russell, and I was gonna say, like, when you mentioned USF, I was literally looking up Bill Russell USF jerseys not that long ago because of that. Like, I would like to rep Bill Russell, but I would never wear a Celtics thing unless I lost a bet or something.
The first team that broke my streak of always getting a hat in the stadium was I did not even get bothered with the St. Patty's Day Dodgers hat. So that was not happening.
Yeah, that's fair.
a lot of hate.
You can put that little clover on it. It's not changing.
Was it blue?
No, it was green.
It was also green.
Why would there be a St. Patty's Day hat that's blue? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, man.
It makes more sense than orange.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. Orange actually makes more sense because it just shows that you don't know what you're talking about, and you just like Google the flag. Like blue just makes no sense at all. Like you don't know anything. Like it's not even ignorance.
It's just
Repping Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also serving haggis on St. Patty's Day. And there'll be a great bagpipes performance. Like, I think you guys got the wrong country.
Bring your kilts out.
Yeah. Make sure to bring your kilts for St. Patty's Day.
Kilts with a red coat on top.
Yeah. Don't forget your Shako and your your Beefeater outfit. Don't forget, guys.
Oh man.
Anyway, Murph, a lot to look forward to for your D-backs, I gotta say. Like that's the real. I think that's what's exciting about baseball this year is that I think the episode's gonna be really intense once we start playing each other because.
Oh, I mean, definitely, especially because like as you know, it's the year of the snake on the lunar calendar. So
there was our baseball had a topic like why will the D-backs meet or like not meet expectations this year?
Oh, really?
Somebody
I missed
literally
that thread.
commented, "Yeah, it's the year of the snake," and I'm like, I hate this subreddit. As a matter of fact, I hate all of Reddit. Like,
I mean, it is the year of the snake. I've been making this joke since Lunar New Year.
The front office has been planning based on the lining up the team.
It's gonna be
right,
the year of, chain smoking on his
2001
balcony.
was the year of the snake as well.
There you go.
That's insane. That's right. Oh my lord. So what the hell happened?
How'd they do in 2013?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it trails off.
that might be the year that Ryan Braun and the Brewers eliminated us.
Oh, they were 81 and 81.
Oh, there couldn't be a more D-backs record.
But no, Goldschmidt, Didi
mid.
Gregorius on the D-backs. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, we traded him away for we traded him to the Yankees, and then there's a three-way trade. I think that's the one that got us Robbie Ray. Three-way trade with the Tigers. Yeah, I don't know who the Tigers got.
Yeah,
I only knew our part of the trade.
Dude, Goldschmidt went crazy that year. What the hell?
Goldschmidt always went crazy in odd years.
Dude,
2013, 2015, 2017. Like
that's a better MVP question. Is like which NL players got robbed of MVP? Colin, like damn near had an aneurysm when Votto won it. I think like he was just like, what the fuck?
It was more just that like the narratives that held Goldie back before with team record and other stuff. All of a sudden, like we make the playoffs, we won 90 something games, and now all of a sudden, like they're using the actual advanced stats that I'd argued for before, and they're giving it to Votto and that like trash Reds team. It was very annoying.
But have you considered that Joey Votto is fun?
The Stanton year as well, though.
Was especially funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That team was horrible, and they were like trying to like force feed him like I don't know. That was just irritating.
Hey Colin. 59 fucking home runs. All right, shut up. Like nobody wants to hear it. 59 home runs. Okay.
Yeah, but they were doing like weird stuff, like putting like they're having pinch runners go in to like force teams to throw them fastballs, or like they give up second base and stuff. Like they were absolutely like home run hunting with them, and the team was going nowhere. Oh no, it did. The team sucked.
Damn it, it
like,
worked.
Whatever, that's the whole thing. It's like you get to chase stats like that when your team is garbage. And meanwhile, like
Your Honor, I'd like to submit this for evidence for the Marlins, the sort of things, chicanery that they can get up to.
The chicanery that they got away with. They served up Giancarlo Stanton 59 home runs on a platter.
It wasn't
what
just
they can do with
it wasn't like they literally were using like pinch runners and stuff to force feed like them to scare teams into throwing fastballs.
Why aren't you guys doing it? Y'all can do the same shit.
Because we were trying to win games, not burn our bench trying to get our guy the home run
apparently
record.
you don't care about winning the MVP. All right, because 59 home runs is you're winning the MVP unless it's Barry Bonds in the league. Okay, like it's as clear cut as it gets.
It was again, like I have no issue with it really. The beef is really more about the fact that the narratives changed. I get people became more analytically focused and other stuff like through the years. It's just frustrating to be on one side of it, and then here it's about team winning and team success, and then your guy puts up an MVP caliber season with the team success, and they give it to the team that finishes like dead last in their division, like 60 games out of contention. It's like, okay, well, cool. Similarly with some of the Harden stuff where, they were talking about how, wins and stuff. That's why it wasn't being considered before. And then they go give it to Westbrook, whose team like snuck into the playoffs. And then we dog walked him in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, because you had more help.
We did not, though. Heading into the year, preseason predictions, the Thunder were projected to win more games than the Rockets. The Rockets were not supposed to be good that year. It's like complete revisionism that people said that like the Rockets were obviously good that year. Everyone made fun of the Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson signings. Everyone's like, Morey lost his mind, blew all of his money on this. This is not a good like team. And then all of a sudden they come out with the best offense. Who cares? Twice the offense, right? That's the Game of Zones line. No defense, twice the offense.
Twice the offense.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like the Rockets come out of nowhere, finish well above their predictions. Why? Because Harden played really well. The Thunder literally played to their like Vegas like win total. It's not like they did anything special. I guess the narrative on that was annoying.
But have you considered double-digit stat, double-digit stat, double-digit stat?
Double-digit stat. All in one game.
I think the weird thing is if you actually added all three of those numbers together, like Harden's was larger anyway. Like it's just the fact that
that's
like
not how
half
it
a
works,
rebound.
Dom. I don't think you heard Dan just
Harden
now.
had double-digit stat,
single-digit stat,
single-digit stat.
Single-digit stat.
It's different.
Not going to cut it in this league.
The big difference is, Steven Adams is such a bro to decide to never go for defensive rebounds for 82 games.
That's why you get your friendly neighborhood Kiwi on your team, just agreeable. Like,
I'm pretty sure Harden had more offensive rebounds.
Grabbed the rebounds that he would gift to Westbrook, he would have put up like Rodman numbers. Like he would have put up Andre Drummond rebounding numbers. Like that guy, no one's boxing Steven Adams out first.
I mean,
and he's boxing you out so hard that he doesn't even have to grab the ball. You just have no shot. Just let Russ pick it up.
No one on the team would even go for a rebound on free throws. They literally just let Westbrook come in there and grab all of them.
Yeah.
Like for the entire season. It was egregious. I'm pretty sure Harden had more offensive rebounds than him, which is like a sign of who's actually trying to rebound versus
come on.
Contested, no one around them.
It's really a sign of how much you're missing, and like you can catch your own caroms off the backboard. Like good job.
I mean that should have favored Westbrook. No one caroms off the backboard more than Westbrook.
Hey, double-digit stats.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 category double digits.
Double digit
In the same game.
It's just frustrating because I think like legacy-wise for Harden, if he had a second MVP, I think people would hold him a little bit better.
Maybe he should have thought of that when he did single digit.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he should
entirely
have thought
different.
about that.
Maybe he should have thought about that when he put up the best scoring season since Michael Jordan.
Who cares? High volume. Like volume score. Nobody cares.
Technically,
Dude,
yes.
Actually, we're Harden or Wade?
All time?
Yeah.
I mean, Harden's a better offensive player. I think Wade's easier to build around just because he's more of a two-way guy. He could play off ball. Harden is the system, though. I think Harden's a better floor raiser, and I think you saw that throughout their careers. Wade had some pretty rough like Heat teams, while Harden, I mean, you could surround him with absolute garbage in his prime, and he was going to get. Yeah, well, yeah, he's going to get you there. And he had to do it in the West, which was way tougher than the East during Wade's time. So, I mean, I think the way I would phrase it is I think Wade's better ceiling like raiser, but I think Harden's a better floor riser. I think they both have their arguments, but that's kind of where I kind of side with it.
The fact that it's close is a testament to James Harden. Like it's because like Wade had the rings like galore. You know, like
well, he had one as the first banana and two as a Robin. Like if Harden played with LeBron, I think he
he
would
had
have won
3
rings
as a
too.
Robin. Okay, like Shaq won him that ring. Like I don't.
I mean,
Make no
he
mistake.
was still very good. I mean, I think the other part of me on that is that was one of the most lopsided reffing series of all time.
Yeah, I'm not talking
And-
Yeah,
about.
there's some.
I'm talking about everything
yeah.
leading up to that Dallas series because that Dallas series is a farce. Like
So if
yeah,
you like
he
throw
won the
that
ring,
one
but-
out, like
yeah.
if he doesn't have that, then I think it's very easy to argue Harden over him because I think the 2018 like run pushing the Warriors to 7 is more impressive than like what
Then
they did.
winning with LeBron.
No, yeah, then winning with LeBron, absolutely, I think so.
What?
Like what? Do we think Horry's better than Jordan because he won 7-6? Like
No,
being
LeBron
the
won 4. That's
being
not
the
like
number-
a frequent occurrence. Okay, like it
being the
takes
number-
something.
no, but being the number 1 is different from being the number 2.
I tell that to the Kobe fans.
Well, I mean, this is literally like the basis for why most people consider Duncan over Kobe that aren't Laker fans. Duncan won 4 as the number 1, unquestioned number 1. Like Kobe only won 2.
Shaq or Kobe?
I mean, I personally like I've always put Shaq above him because like the peak play of Shaq was the most unstoppable person like I remember. It like literally felt unfair. They had to like switch how they reffed him because literally it was getting ridiculous.
Well, Shaq,
I mean, Kobe
Shaq
obviously had a lot
invented
better
defensive
longevity.
3 seconds because his fat ass was just parking in the paint like on defense. It's like he blocked Allen Iverson, I think 9 times in a finals game. And I'm pretty sure David Stern was like, all right, well, that's enough of that. Like his fat ass needs to come out of the paint, man. This is some bullshit.
But yeah, like I don't know. For me in general, I typically rate peak play over longevity across the board. That's why I think Jordan's better than LeBron, even to an extent. Like, yes, LeBron has a scoring record. LeBron has all the all-time records, and
Yeah.
that's really great. But I mean, I would take Shaq over Kobe for that reason too. Like,
Ooh.
his peak is better.
That's a
And-
spicy argument because Kobe and Jordan people tend to be aligned. You know, about like, oh, he had the killer instinct, or you know, whatever the Skip Bayless argument, right? Like,
I mean, I just told you though that Jordan won 5 MVPs. Kobe won 1. I just told you I didn't think he deserved that one. So I don't think they're the same player. I do think he's a diet Jordan, which is why I do think that people trying to put him up in the conversations he doesn't belong in. It makes it very tough to argue because it's like, yeah, we've seen a better version of Kobe. It's Jordan. Like,
yeah,
is there a better version of LeBron? No, LeBron is the best version of his archetype.
Yeah.
Because I think
like
his best
Karl Malone and Magic Johnson had a baby.
exactly, and he's better than both of them.
Yeah.
So,
Goddamn.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a reason
also morally
he's all
better
the way
than
up there
Devin
on the list.
yeah. So I mean that's kind of where I get with a lot of those things, at least.
Dan, Shaq or Kobe?
I mean, at his peak, Shaq. But I would say that Kobe's longevity overall pushes him over for me. Like,
I like that.
Yeah.
This is like a revealing. It's one of those like Rorschach tests where it's like, what do you value in a player, and what do you care about when you're comparing them? And that's kind of cool to get that out of you too. I thought that was a fun exercise.
I mean, I think so too. I think another fun one to think about is someone like Calvin Johnson versus Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, who
Yeah.
you guys got?
I mean, I would pick Calvin.
I go Fitzgerald. I think.
Wow, we got opposites. That's crazy.
Is it? We both just went the
Y'all
same
agree on
direction on this
fucking
one the other
Same
way.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. I still value peak play over everything. I think his career is long enough that I'm comfortable with it.
You're the Terrell Davis arguer. Where you're like Terrell Davis definitely deserved to go.
That one might be a little short for me. Like,
That one
that's
was
what-
dicey for me. I was like,
that's a very short career. But no, I mean, I was also advocating for Sterling Sharp to get in the Hall of Fame for the same reason.
I
Yeah,
think,
Triple Crown
well, yeah,
season.
but that's like, it's not his career did not end by any fault of his own. Okay, like
Yeah,
that's what the hell, yeah. And he was all time great. Like his numbers were insane. I was like, damn, this guy's fucking good.
But if you had to say like the most extreme version of this question, really is in football, it's Terrell Davis
Versus
Frank
Frank
Gore.
Gore. Yeah, that's
And
my
yes,
question.
and I go Terrell Davis. Yeah, I would go Terrell Davis.
That
is
is so
a-
mean to Frank Gore.
But like, okay, so then what is the question? Like, do we have them are we building a franchise around them, or do we have them for one game? Because that
No, the reason why I
No,
like it
for,
open ended like
career,
this.
career.
No,
For
the reason why I
career.
like the open ended is that you guys in your answers tell me what you prioritize. You know,
sure.
it's like, as
I
opposed
just
because if I'm basically leading you, if I say like, well, who had the better career, who made more
Right.
money. Like, well, yeah, no shit, Frank Gore, right? Like,
Yeah, but that's just
it's
because
the same
this
way-
case is so extreme. I think like in this one, I feel like it needs a clarification
no,
just
you just gotta
because
take
like
a
one
stand.
had
Come on, Dan.
clearly a much better career and
I
the other one
played
had
taps for the
clearly a
Denver
much better
fucking
peak.
Nuggets today. You gotta take a stand. Like, stand for something.
The way I always view this, Dan, is like, whose career would you rather have? Like,
Yeah.
I guess if you're a franchise, like that's who you're having.
Yeah.
I'd rather the star burn brightest and then start and get another player.
That is, see, that's plantation mentality. See, I don't like that. All right, like, I don't like that at all, dude.
Looking at
That's
these
horrible.
careers, yeah. I mean, he burned bright for sure, but
He broke 2,000 yards.
He
He
broke
broke
2,000
all
yards.
the postseason running records.
but he only
yeah.
broke 1,000 yards 4 times.
His career was like 5 years. wasn't
Yeah.
it? What the hell?
All
mean,
right,
I
I gotta go, Frank Gore.
That's why I
Do
said
you want money or not?
This is the most extreme version of this
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
I don't think there's
absolutely.
a better version of this question.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I mean,
You know,
first team
you
All-Pro
didn't
3
chime
times.
in on any of these. What's your Shaq versus Kobe?
Shaq versus
What's your
Kobe?
Calvin versus Fitzgerald, and what's your Terrell
Calvin.
Davis for score?
I
Okay.
also evaluate like the toolkit, like what you can give me. Like in your prime, what did you give me? And Larry Fitzgerald, surest freaking hands I ever saw. Okay, like at least like during the period that he was playing, sure freaking hands, durable as hell. Like he's super reliable, which is great. And he runs routes like an MFer. Okay, like he's just one of the most polished, best receivers I've ever seen. I love that off the field. He's always like, doing cool stuff, whether it's like journalism or whatever. He's just always like, he's always doing cool stuff. So shout out to Larry Fitzgerald. But as a player, Calvin Johnson, the athletic gifts this guy had was on a level where I don't think there's any comparison. I think Randy Moss is the closest comp, where it's just like you can high point, you can literally just bully people for the ball. You're just taking it to the house. Like if you catch the ball, it's about to be a rough day for the secondary. That's the way I see Calvin Johnson, and it's just like, yeah, I tend to think of it in like in a game for my life type of perspective generally. And so if I had all the best,
if it's a game for your life, then yeah, I would take a peek
Frank
Calvin
Gore.
Johnson over
Frank Gore. No, I
Well,
can count on
Larry
Frank Gore to
Fitzgerald, but
come
that's-
out.
yeah, like again, for me,
Yeah, I mean-
like Fitzgerald had sustained excellence for many, many, many years, like and a very nice peak. Like
Yeah.
in those playoffs when they went to the Super Bowl, he was an absolute terror.
He was a
Like
beast.
you get the ball and you were worried that he was going to score anytime he got the ball.
My thing with Calvin, honestly, and that I respect the hell of him, is I've just never seen a receiver ever been treated the way he did, like where around the goal line and sometimes on third downs, like teams would literally treat him like a gunner.
Yeah,
They'd have 2 guys lined up on the line and just try to jam him like a punt gunner because
Yeah.
they were like just like absolutely no. we just do not want you to
beat
do
us
anything.
any way else, but
Yeah.
not Calvin Johnson in the end zone. And
Yeah.
that literally, that's the type of stuff that makes your team better, because it's like, hey, well, here's so-and-so leaking out to the left. Like, I don't know, Ty Johnson leaking out to the left. Let's give him the ball. Like or here's Javid Best. Let's hand the ball off to him because everybody's on Calvin. Like that's what happens. That's how freaking phenomenal you are as a player. Where like you just have gravity of that like magnitude. Whereas like Larry definitely had some years where he took advantage of having another great threat in Anquan Bolden. I think Steve Bresson a couple of those years was a 1,000-yard guy. Probably eating more off of Larry.
Yeah, I was going to say
like,
that's
but like that's
one
definitely,
benefit
like,
from the
symbiotic,
other
but,
in
like,
that case. Yeah.
He's the
but
Brandon
symbiotic,
Stokely to
right?
the Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne of
Wow, I'm really open right now.
It's like, damn, what happened? I'll take it. Kurt, over here, dude.
the Ricky Prohl to Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, no, I'm a Megatron guy. In the same vein, I'm a Shaq guy. I think Shaq at one point, maybe for like a 4-year stretch, having him on your team meant you were practically guaranteed to get in the playoffs and probably make a deep run, just because there was no way to stop him.
Oh yeah, Peak
before
Shaq
defensive 3
was a
seconds.
terror. Absolutely,
just
it
like-
was. Teams would stockpile bigs just to have extra fouls
Have
to
fouls
use
to
on
give,
them.
yeah.
yeah,
and like
for sure.
not like those fouls even freaking mattered, because they're just like, we're gonna batter him and he's still coming back, like he's still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shaq was incredible. And then for that reason, because Kobe, for me, it was like, I don't know which Kobe's gonna show up today. is he going to shoot 6 for 24 or is he going to shoot like, 18 for 22? Like, I don't know. But I know he's going to take at least 20 shots, right? Like, for sure. But I don't know how it's going to go. Whereas Shaq, it's like, yeah, we're probably getting 28 points, probably 15 rebounds.
Yeah,
know where
but
that's coming from.
that part of Shaq's career didn't last that long.
Yeah.
No, I know, which is also
It's
why I
the
think the one
The
game
nastiest toe in the
question
NBA.
like isn't fair because everyone will side with my guys for one game. Like I'm
Exactly.
literally
Yeah,
picking.
yeah,
I'm picking
exactly.
the one.
But
game
like all
guys.
the attributes, I think about all the attributes and all that stuff and what he did
Yeah.
for your team. And I'm like, shit. Yeah, I'd rather have 4 years of Shaq than 20 years of Kobe. Just because it was like a mortal luck that we were going to the finals those 3 years. So
For those 4 years.
yeah, for those 4
I mean,
years.
it's not like Orlando Shaq wasn't like really good too.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. No,
Like
I
we
mean,
talk about as a Laker,
Yeah.
I would take Kobe just to be clear because I do think it's close enough that the fact obviously as a Laker, it's no doubt.
Oh
about it.
yeah, as a
I would
Laker,
take
yeah,
Kobe.
for sure. But
But-
like, no,
Curry?
like Shaq's peak was actually really long. It was like the Orlando after year 3, Orlando when he was averaging like 28, 29 a game.
he was
running for,
averaging
like,
29
Brazil.
in his second year. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. He had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, a nice 10-year peak for sure where he was
But there was that,
killing it.
the peak of the peak, which was
Yeah.
98 to 02, right? Like
Yeah.
where it was just like, you don't have Shaq, that sucks. Like all right.
Yeah, I mean, true, but he turned 30 and
Did he?
yeah.
Did he turn 30? My
Yeah.
God. Holy. That claw toe deformity, like when I remember when I saw it for the first time, I was like, all right, Shaq, I forgive you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I slandered you all those times for your toe, but like that is disgusting. Like,
Oh.
okay.
I mean, yeah, he was like he was still playing at an MVP level in 2006, even though 2005, even though I think that Nash deserved to win over him,
Yeah.
but he already looked old. Like he did not look
gassed.
he did
looked
not look
gassed.
like he looked a couple years
Despite the
before that.
fact that Miami apparently had the rule where he had to be like a certain amount of body fat and he had to run and all that. And I was like, I think y'all might have damaged the Shaq because
I thought they put him on the bike. That was the whole thing. Like,
oh,
they
they
didn't make
well,
him run.
he was allowed to cop out because he was Shaq. Like apparently he had different rules because he was Shaq. But like,
Yeah, Shaq, come on.
but GP I guess was like hitting the track with everybody else, right? Like, so no, I love Shaq and obviously my favorite player of all time as far as like a physical presence. So that's my pick. But
Yeah, I mean, again, we keep going. Like it's peak versus career. Like
peak
yeah,
versus career,
Yeah.
but also like attributes.
Yeah.
Like attributes that scale out to like you're probably going to win a championship with this guy. I think that was a good thing that Colin touched on in the Harden versus Wade was like Wade is easier to build around because he's a two-way threat. Harden kind of has a higher floor. I like that. That's very precise of him to try to like point those out.
I have one last one I want to throw at you guys here.
What's up?
Devontae Adams versus Mike Evans.
Oh,
okay.
well, you two, y'all better
Yeah,
say
I feel like this
Devontae,
looked harder just because of bias. Like
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I guess the thing here is like Mike Evans obviously has the 1,000-yard streak, right?
Yeah.
Which is at like a decade at this point.
yeah,
But I mean, he has 0 All Pros. Devontae Adams has 3 first teams.
I mean, yeah,
Mike Evans
Devontae.
is fucking cold though. Like, don't get me wrong. That guy
Yeah,
he's
he's,
a fucking phenomenal wide receiver.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And he has a lot of the attributes I would want in a wide receiver. Like he can box out, he can do all that stuff. And there's a reason why he got to 1,000. It's because you can't bump him. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna bump Mike Evans? Like,
Yeah.
you can get your ass kicked, bro. Like, his
mean, a
release
good
out the
reason-
line is your hands going up like this.
a good part of Johnny Football's whole mythology was Mike Evans down there somewhere.
Yeah, like, fucking Mike.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go against my own trend here just because of the Packers. I'll go
See,
with
that
Devontae.
was what I was afraid of.
Well, I also do think that the longevity on Adams is still like not bad. Like he put
Yeah,
up 1,100 yards
true.
last year.
Yeah,
Well, he's not
yeah.
done yet. Yeah, Adams
Yeah.
is not done yet.
Hey,
Well,
he's
they're the same
available.
draft class. That's why I like using that.
Yeah, that's a
he's
good.
available. Bring him back. Come home.
Also,
Yeah.
Adams is a little bit of a late bloomer. Like it took him a
Yeah, a
little
little bit.
while with Rodgers to get acclimated. But once he got acclimated, I mean, did he ever, right?
As
But-
Grievous can talk about his second year, he was called Drop Fonte.
yeah, I was there for that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Didn't he have that one game where he had like 17 targets and like 4 catches or something? Something insane.
He's had a
Right.
couple weird ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He figured it out.
But I'm Mike Evans because the attributes I like that are more like high floor, right? Where it's like, hey, you're big, you're gonna get off the line, you're gonna find a way to get to the ball. Cool.
I mean, if you're talking about off the line, that's Devontae. He's the
I
best.
mean, Devontae's smoking people off the line.
Devontae's the best release in the game.
Yeah, he's smoking people off the line. But Mike's just gonna you try to press him and he's gonna be like, get out of my way, little guy. Like, and red zone, I like him, but Devontae at one point was the number one red zone threat in football, hands down. So, but I still like the stability of the Mike Evans role, just because anyone can use that. Whereas a Devontae, it's yeah, he's awesome in his prime and his peak, but before he got there, it was pretty rough, guys. He was mostly known for getting yelled at by Rodgers. I feel like I was just like, there he goes again.
Well, I think it was always a good sign to get yelled at by Rodgers because that
he
meant
cares.
that, yeah. It's the people that he didn't yell at. It's just like you're dead to me. Yeah. Who was it? I think it was Equiminius St. Brown talked about how in one game or whatever, Rodgers just pointed at him, pointed to the sideline, and then the coaches subbed him out. Rodgers didn't even talk to him. Just pointed at him. It's like, gotta go. I think Rodgers rolled out right, and he just stopped running on the route because he thought the play was over. Oh. And then Rodgers just was like, "Get him off the field."
That's but that's a get off the field type of thing, though.
Yeah.
What the hell? If I'm rolling out to your side and you stop blocking or you stop running or anything, I'm pretty pissed too, man. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Especially Rodgers, who did so much work rolling out like that. That's you should know who you're
playing.
That's
kind of his thing.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think Tanyan even talked about that too, about how he's like, I just got bullied by Bakhtiari and Rodgers constantly. And then he's like, then I realized what's it called? The other backup tight ends, they weren't even talking to.
Yeah. No, definitely.
They were looking to be bully me. Wait.
Guys, is he done, by the way?
Rodgers?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, it depends on who wants him, though. I still think he's probably going to go to the Steelers. Him and Tomlin have a relationship. They don't really have a quarterback.
That's
they could bring back Fields.
Yeah. And Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think it really depends where he because the rumors I'm hearing most now are the Giants, and if he goes to the Giants, he's gonna have a rough time on the Giants. But if he goes to the Steelers, he'd probably have a great time. Because he Colin said a couple times, his his peripheral numbers weren't that bad last year. He was still playing pretty good. He just was on the Jets. So yeah, if he's on the Giants, which is the equivalent just on the other conference,
same fucking thing.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, despite having Malik Neighbors to throw to, it would still be a rough time.
I think Malik Neighbors goes into a high wide receiver 1 category if Aaron Rodgers goes, just because there's nobody else, dude. We're gonna throw Darius Slayton.
If Rodgers goes there, Devontae's going.
That's what I'm. Yeah, once they pick up Devontae and Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, and
same gang.
Well, what's Jake Kumaro up to nowadays? But no, I mean, I think I just don't get the Giants in the sense of that they're still the worst team in the division. Rodgers, for me, it speaks to maybe he really just wants to pass Favre on the touchdown list because you're not competing. He has to even know that. That's why the Steelers makes a lot of sense to me. You can talk yourself into competing. Pickens, Adams, that offense becomes a little spicy. Tomlin is allergic to losing records. That makes a little bit of sense to me. Oh, yeah, and as Dan was talking about, though, there's no statistical argument that CJ Stroud was better than him last year. And Pro Football Focus, their grades, they had him above Matt Stafford even. Those are playoff quarterbacks. The difference was the Jets defense and special teams were bottom 5, bottom 10 units. The offense was the highest rated unit by DVOA. So I think a lot of Rodgers, obviously the biggest name. I think he got a lot of blame for what happened in New York. But I don't think it was all warranted. No one expected.
And I was happy
to
pile on. I was
yeah. I mean,
on this
nobody likes this
podcast
guy anymore. But
yeah.
I mean, you know what you didn't see a lot of was Rodgers losing the game. You didn't see he gacked away the game like this. It was just either ran out of time or ran out of downs. It wasn't it just the offense seemed fine. Yeah, so I'll definitely give him that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, going to the Giants is not going to solve that problem. You are.
Yeah. And the other problem is guys, if you're not a Super Bowl ceiling QB, what are you doing here? Is it really just let's just sneak into the playoffs and roll the dice and see what happens? I think the Steelers make sense because with that team, if you're in the playoffs, like, yeah, roll the dice and see what happens. You know,
I also think they owe it to
again. Like, I don't know. Fucking,
I think
don't
they
know how
owe
much
it
more
to
that fan
TJ
base can
Watt
take.
too. Like TJ Watt deserves to be competing for stuff. Like he's a great player. I mean, he's on like a Hall of Fame track right now. I think they deserve it to do right by him. And so either blow it up, which they're never going to do under Tomlin, or like keep rolling in vets. Do what the Colts do.
They just don't blow it up in general. Steelers
Yeah.
don't blow it up in general. That's not their thing. You know,
No.
like they're
Exactly.
they're the rebuild on the fly masters. You know,
How many years of Tomlin now? Like 18, something like that.
yeah, no losing records.
Yeah.
Never had a losing record. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I think it is 18 because
18.
Cowher retired after the Super Bowl, right?
Nice.
So that was an amazing poll. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the most logical spot for him to go. I think the other interesting one potentially is the Colts. That roster's still not bad. Anthony Richardson's a bum. That could be interesting. Yeah, the Giants have the most like.
I had such
I
high
don't know.
hopes for Richardson. That was that was annoying.
Just
last
move
year.
it from there to Jaden Daniels because he's gonna. Jaden Daniels.
You can only
Well,
watch a guy
I-
like airmail a screen pass by 20 yards so many times before you're just like, this dude can't do basic shit.
You know, I was all in on Daniels before the
Yeah,
season.
you're all in on Daniels.
I was a Bo Nix guy.
55-23, man. We whooped his ass.
I mean, did pretty good. He was pretty solid.
55,
It's because he brought all that veteran leadership to the
Exactly.
the Broncos. Yeah.
He's working out, feeling loose. He's a dark horse.
Anyway, well, on that note, this was we really dragged it out, boys.
Yeah, we dragged the. I feel like we've been doing the closing segment for like an hour. 15
No,
minutes.
this is not closing segment at all. This is just us shooting the shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we started doing rants like
Yeah,
over
close
an
it.
hour, like an hour and a half ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could definitely clip the end of the show like an hour earlier.
Yeah. Before we get into like the Shaq versus Kobe debate, or like
Oh,
James
easily.
Harden versus,
Yeah.
or who had the worst MVP?
This is the insider Patreon content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the stuff that goes on after hours. Everyone hates us after dark. Let me do the outro real quick. Thanks for joining us. That was a weird cut, wasn't it? I just want to say thanks to Dan Grievitz. Congratulations, Dan, who got into his school. So he's school bound. He's school bound. And then we got Murph, who's just chugging along at work. But Dan, Murph, thanks for joining me. I'm Lee. I'm still waiting to hear back from my schools. And I hope I got into one so that I can be a freaking lawyer. All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us, and everyone who hates us. Like, subscribe. See you later.
See you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Sul.
Dude, that's so infuriating. Murph, come on, dude.
What?
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? A fucking cruise.